Monk on the beat.
Hey, DBN Radio, live. We back at it, y'all. Hashtag Dante's Boxing Nation. Hashtag Dante's Boxing Nation Radio, baby. New media, we doing it again. It's going down like a plane crash. You guys already know what it is, man. Oh my goodness. As I was just telling my panel right now, man, it done went down like an earthquake, boy, when it come to all of this damn news. Boy, we about to get into it. We about to tackle all of this. Tupac Biggie 2018. Jesus Christ, man. Jesus damn Christ. Hey, let me go ahead and say what's up to everybody in the comment section. You guys already know what it is, man. I know it's a civil war right now out there, man. It's a civil war, boy. Don't let Fox News hear about this, boy. They're going to treat this like they treat Chicago. I tell you right now, man. It's going down, man. Hey, let me go ahead and see what's going on in the comment section. Let me say, hey, I want everyone to rep your city, rep your state, rep your hood, rep your country. You know we international, y'all. Okay, Glenn Williams, he said Detroit checking in. That's what it is, man. Let me go ahead and say what's up to my moderators in the building. My man Kaz, he said, yo, yo, yo. That's what it is. Big Will from Long Island in the house. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My man Ronald said black on black crime, you know, and he got the emoji like that's not a good look. UK. What's going on, UK? London checking in. Dark Side. What's that? Let me see. KC Bodybuilding. All right, man. Yeah, man, we're going to talk about that tank. We're going to talk about this. Obviously, we're going to talk a whole lot about this. Jermall Charlo, the Charlo brothers, right? Texas, Baltimore, Ohio, Adrian Broner. London in the building once again. London is in here heavy. That's what it is. H-Town in the house all day. We're going to talk a lot about H-Town. Detroit once again. Some more UK. Somebody in there using using Eddie Hearn's name in here. So shout out to Eddie Hearn in the comment section. Said UK mate all day. Canada baby. Mission, Texas. Chi-Town. Speaking of Chi-Town. Orlando, Florida. Bombs away. Sacktown 916. Dante's Boxing Nation, y'all. DBN Radio. It's going down, man. We have a lot to talk about. I'm going to introduce the panel as I always do. But, man, it's a whole lot to talk about, man. And once again, if you haven't heard what Jermall said about Broner and Gervonta, I actually have the link in my description box. So if you guys want to click on that link and get caught up, you can do that. The show is about to start, guys, in a minute. The show is about to start in a minute. But I'm shouting everybody out, as I always do at this time. My man, Black Attack Circle, DC. Yes, sir. C-Mac, New York, 718. Bush God said Newark in the building. Yes, sir. GB up in here. London, Great Britain. Man, y'all know what it is, man. London is up in here heavy, man. Congratulations to Dillian White. He got a win out there, man. Yeah, man, that's what it is. Puebla, Mexico. Yes, sir. Yeah, Viva Mexico. That's what it is. Jersey. Yeah, Da Nang. See, man, it's going down over here. Tennessee. I want to make sure I get these shots out, man, before we start the show, man, because I appreciate you guys tuning in. We got a lot to talk about once again. Jermall Charlo went in. Boy, that boy, he infiltrated when it came to Broner and Tank Davis. So, and Gervonta, he clapped back. We're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about this Canelo situation because right now it's just getting worse and worse from Canelo failing his drug test to HBO pausing the programming, promotion. So that's what it is. Okay, guys, we're about to start the show in a minute. Hey, Sydney, Australia up in this building. You know what it is. Repping that DBN, John O'Neill. What's going on, family? Los Angeles, California. Yes, sir. Camp Pendleton, California Marine checking in. That's what I'm talking about, Marcus. San Antonio, Texas. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, we got a lot to talk about, man. Fresno, down the street from me, Cleveland. Let's get it in, y'all. Once again, there will be a small pause, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about this news. Jermall Charlo, Adrian Broner, Gervonta Tank Davis, Canelo Alvarez, Golovkin, Anthony Joshua, Dillian White, Bomb Squad, my man Deontay Wilder. We about to get it in, y'all. Las Vegas as well. Let's do it, y'all. Michigan, Angel Santos, my moderator, up in the building. Repping that BK. Repping that Brooklyn. Repping that New York. Yeah. Kansas. All day, yeah. All day. The bees banging. North Carolina. Wyoming. Out there in the middle of nowhere. Know about some DBN. Be more, Baltimore. Southside Chinatown. Or is that Chi-Town? All right, I'll never get out of here. I keep doing these shout outs. Dallas all day. All right, y'all. Okay, guys, there's going to be a small pause, okay? There'll be a small pause. The intro will play, and then the show will start. So there'll be a small pause, and then we're going to get it in, y'all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hold on, y'all. Let's do this. Nation. And let me tell you something right now. If you guys are looking for the best fragrance products in the world, you need to go to ashkickin.com. That is ashkickin.com. Keep your home smelling fresh and clean with Ash Kickin fragrance products. Treat your skin and hair with Ash Kickin all-natural health and beauty products. Everything you need to create a comfortable home living environment and create a comfortable space for entertaining. The best incense burners in the world, home fragrance products, and health and beauty products, go to ashkickin.com.
Brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
Hey yo, check this out. This is Flavor Flav, and if you want the whole truth and nothing but the whole truth, so help the whole truth. Hey yo, you better listen to Dante, baby. Dante!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, y'all? And welcome to another great edition of the Dante's Boxing Nation show, the live radio show. It's going down like a plane crash, man. We got a whole lot to talk about. You guys already know. Boy, it's been rough out there. It's been rough out there. We're going to talk about all of it, man. First things first, man, let me go ahead and shout out ashkickin.com. That's a dope-ass website, guys. Check out that website, all right? ashkickin.com. And while you're at it, make sure you go to boxrunnershoes.com, all right? Go ahead and cop some of them fresh fly shoes, you know, because these guys, they repping the tank over here. They sponsor me, so I appreciate that. And the new one, well, you already know about this one. Every year we do this one, man. Box Fan Expo. BoxFanExpo.com. Man, it's going down, man. Cinco de Mayo. All your favorite fighters are going to be in one building. So if you want to come out here and take your pictures, you know, you want to get your autographs, you want to see and meet and greet all your favorite fighters, and your boy Dante's Boxing Nation going to be there. So come out, y'all, and rep out here in Las Vegas, May 5th. Box Fan Expo. All right? With that being said, let's go ahead and introduce the panel as we always do at this time. Let me go and introduce my man. This man right here, he's a former fighter. His son is one of the best prospects in the world right now. And he's also a broadcaster, man. You guys going to be hearing a lot about him and his son, especially over here on Dante's Boxing Nation. My man, Money Pal, is on that horn. Money Pal the third. What's going on, Money?
Hey, what's happening, Dante? How's everything for you?
All right, man. Everything is good, man. Everything is good. We have another member of the panel, also former fighter, and he's a writer on the website boxinginsider.com. My man, Kirk Jackson. What it do, K?
Hey, what's going on, Dante? Thanks for having me on.
All day, man, all day. Let's go ahead and get into the damn proceedings, man. Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness, man. Jesus. I'm gonna tell. Hey,
where do you start?
Where do
and how
you
do you
start?
stay on one? And how do you stay on one topic?
Yeah, absolutely. We could bounce all over the place, and you guys see the phone number on the screen. If you guys want to call in and you want to be a part, of the conversation, go ahead and call in. We'll take calls probably maybe in about 10 minutes. But let's go ahead and get right into it. So Kirk, I'm gonna let you kind of get into this, but I want to say this before you even start, Kirk. Unfortunately, while this beef, Jermall Charlo, he did a live stream and he went in for real on Adrian Broner and Gervonta Tank Davis. And the one thing I will say is, unfortunately, I don't want this to be misconstrued because, whenever, a little kid gets shot by the police, a lot of these decaf old media members, they try to, create deflections, and they'll be like, well, what about the crime in Chicago? Forget about this kid getting killed. I don't want them to start saying, when somebody gets shot, they start saying, hey, y'all, but what about this beef between Charlo and Tank Davis? Forget about the kid getting shot. What we going to do about this matter right here? You know what I'm saying? Distractions and deflections is what it is. But hey, but Kirk, for everybody who doesn't know and didn't know what really happened, if you could kind of just give us a quick summary of what took place to fill people in from Jermall's stream to Gervonta responding back. If you could just give your take on it, Kirk.
Yeah, so Jermall Charlo was on, I believe, his Instagram on his live feed. And to paraphrase what he said, he essentially was talking a bunch of trash about Adrian Broner, Gervonta Davis. He mentioned briefly Triple G, and he also mentioned Danny Jacobs. But essentially he was saying he's tired of fighting on Adrian Broner's cards. He's tired of basically like being on the same card and event as him because he always loses. He says he brings Adrian bad luck. He says if he loses again, he's going to delete him. And then he proceeded to make fun of Tank, saying he's with Mayweather's team, but he hasn't fought anybody. He's fat. He's pretty much going down the drain. And, he said some other inflammatory things, but, yeah, I mean, what can I say? He was going off.
Yeah, he said he could barely. Go ahead.
I was going to say, to Gervonta's response, he responded on Twitter saying Jermall's on coke.
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
yeah.
And I believe Jermall responded to him. Jermall's brother responded to him saying, if you want that smoke, you can, what I'm saying, we can do something about it in Brooklyn. And Gervonta was like, yeah, I'll see you there.
He said, I'll see you there. He said, say no more. And let me just go ahead and piggyback on and extend. So also Jermall, he said something. Didn't he say something like Tank could barely even speak? He said something like that. He said Adrian Broner, it stands for about getting your ass beat or something like that, about to get beat or something like that.
Wow.
He really went in. And let me go ahead. I want to read Gervonta's his tweet, because this is how he basically responded, just to add on to what Kirk just said right now. So Gervonta's first response was Charlo on coke right now. And then someone replied to him, I guess, and then he replied back and he said, yeah, and him and his brother on coke. And then he said, I don't talk a lot. I like to mute shit. And this is when I'm not real good when it comes to Twitter or whatever. I'm hardly on this stuff, but I believe this is Jermall responding. Jermall, actually, this is Jermall responding, and Jermall says not at all.
Right.
Jermall says not at all, player, but feel some type of way about the cyber attack you delivered. Personally, I think you're a cool kid, but if this is the road you want to take, start your engines. Hashtag Lions only. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. At Gervonta. Yeah, him and his brother on coke, responding to when he said that. And then Gervonta, he laughs. He says, LOL, you lay a finger on me and you won't box a day in your life again. Take this how you want it. These cokehead Charlos have to chill out. Them drugs be having people feeling like they untouchable. You shouldn't be doing coke a couple of weeks before the fight. Okay. So yeah, man. Let me say this, Money, before I get your reaction, Money. You know, the thing is, unfortunately, you heard what Gervonta just said. And what people have to be careful and realize is this can go beyond boxing real quick, because you ain't dealing with cats in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? It's just sitting over there doing this, you know, for fun, like a hobby. Gervonta Tank Davis is from Baltimore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Charlos, they from Texas. They both from, you know, some serious neighborhoods. You know what I mean? So this could easily spiral out of the ring and spiral out of control. It already has. Your reaction, Money, on this whole situation?
It's sad, and I can only say that I hope that it does not spiral out of control. Oh man, I mean, this is, you know, the social media can be used to do a good thing, but in situations like this, it can be devastating.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I really hope that on come April 21st, when they all meet up, that there's no fire.
We would hope. We would definitely hope. I mean, yeah, we don't need this type of civil war. I mean, and something else that Jermall Charlo, he said, because it needs to be noted. The first thing he said in this live stream, he was mainly talking about Adrian Broner. Like Kirk just told you guys, Kirk Jackson, you know, he was expressing his disdain for being on Broner's undercard. He took it personal that he's been put on Broner's undercard. But then he said something that was really interesting. He said, you know, this fight is almost being billed, you know, or they putting, you know, black versus Hispanics. And then he says, I'm gonna do my part. he said, I'm gonna do my part, but I can't speak for him. And you know, he said the main event is gonna suck, you know, because he's not gonna do his part. So it's almost as if, you know, he's implying, you know, you making the race look bad. You know, I'm gonna do my part. You know what I mean? You know, that's like Canelo saying, you know, we out here in Mexico, or we in San Antonio, Texas. I'm gonna do my part on the undercard. You know what I mean? You gonna mess around and lose and make us all look bad. This is pretty much what Jermall Charlo said, man. So Kirk, I guess that puts a lot more pressure. On Adrian Broner, right? Adrian Broner, because you got, you know, now it's like his own people. They don't even believe in him anymore. You know what I mean? You got fighters that can come out and say something like that. Clearly, you know, a lot of fighters. It's not just boxing fans. So you can't even use that. Oh, these are just fans talking crazy. These are champions saying this kind of stuff. So just talk about the pressure that this puts on Adrian Broner, if you can, Kirk.
Well, I mean, he calls himself the Can Man too. So I mean, when he fought Mikey Garcia, he wore the Mexican flag colors, trying to play off of what Floyd did against Oscar De La Hoya years back. So, I mean, I think he's always putting that pressure on himself to perform. He just doesn't perform, and he's been mighty quiet about the entire situation. So maybe that's actually a good thing. Maybe that's a sign of showing that he's really focused and trying to just worry about beating Jesse Vargas as opposed to engaging in the foolery that is usually accustomed to Adrian Broner.
Excellent point, Kirk. And I also believe that Broner, this is motivation for Broner. I believe Broner, he's sitting over here like, okay, I see how y'all talking now. I'm going to show y'all. Matter of fact, I ain't going to say nothing. Also, he also realizes, you know, if he does say something crazy and then he loses again, that makes him look even worse, you know, because I remember after he lost to Porter, when he came back in his next fight, he said, I ain't gonna even say nothing no more. If you guys recall that, you know, he was basically, you know, saying that I'm gonna let my actions speak. You know, I'm just gonna walk the walk. I ain't gonna say nothing else about the situation. You know, but now, yeah, like I said, once again, the pressure is on Adrian Broner, and once again, Gervonta Tank Davis, man, he may be a small dude, but you know, he from Baltimore, and like I said, he as real as they come. You know, the Charlo brothers, they're as real as they come. You know what I'm saying? And you know what happens. You know what happens when you got two sides as real as hell. You know, usually, you know, it's not a good outcome. You know, spontaneous combustion. You know what I mean? So that's pretty
pressure on himself.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it, man. Speaking of that, and we gonna and you guys remind me just in case I forget. But speaking of, you know, putting pressure on yourself, I also want to talk about Mikey Garcia, what he said about Terrence Crawford. So you guys remind me just in case I forget about that. Hey guys, before we jump into anything else, let's open the phone lines, man. Let's open the phone lines and see what is on your guys' minds. Once again, shout out to everyone in the comment section. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Oh, once again, if you guys haven't seen the interview or not the interview, but the live stream that Jermall did when he went in on Adrian Broner and Gervonta, I have the link in the description box, the whole live video, so you can hear everything he said word for word. Okay, guys, hear it from the horse's mouth. So let's go ahead and open up the phone lines as we always do. All right, guys, we got 301. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Man, this Black Attack Circle. I'm calling from Murder, but I'm from DC though.
Okay, that's what it is. What's going on, Black Attack?
It's a pleasure, man, talking to you, man. I respect everything you do. You and Money, man. I swear to God, man, y'all probably the realest people that cover boxing.
All day, man.
But
thanks a lot, man.
Much appreciated, man. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
My thing is, I just hope this Tank and the Charlo brothers thing don't get escalated to something different. Cause just like you were saying, like, these people's from the streets, and it could get way worse than what it's planned out to be. You know what I'm saying?
For real, no doubt about it.
And I mean, I'm like you all. I mean, you always, you know, talk about, like, you know, man, black people stick together, man. Come on, man, don't fuck up your bag. Just trying to, you know. I mean, first of all, why is you calling this man out? You're a 160 pounder calling out a 135 pounder. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's senseless, and I did not like that, and I don't respect it at all.
And that's what it is.
I'm gonna take you back off what he said. We talked about this in our little group chat, and you're putting out negative energy. You're putting out that energy out there, and if Jermall or Jermall or both, if they're trying to embrace that villain role, that's cool. But you have to also just be cognizant of the energy and what comes along with it. It's kind of like with Tekashi 6ix9ine, that new rapper, you know, that's getting on everyone's nerves right now.
Yeah.
Putting out that energy. And, you know, he's seeing everyone cloud chasing and whatnot, but it's like, okay, well, if you're saying you're this and that, you have that persona out there. When people try and check you, or when they try and text you, don't try and cop, please. So, you know.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. All right, check this out. This is the same person that he was talking all this shit about Daddy Jacobs, but when he rolled up on him,
yeah,
I know y'all could. He froze up a little bit.
He quoting with my man.
He had to think about it. He's like, hold on, I've been this dude whole time. And he got his words together. He stood up for himself. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
He froze up. He really did.
Yeah, I mean, he was out there. He was out there in Brooklyn. You know, that was an interesting situation. That was an interesting situation.
Come on,
exactly.
Man.
What you say?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They got robbed the same night.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, Brooklyn,
you
man.
Hood. You think the people's in this hood? Well, I mean, whoever. That's his hometown. You coming out there talking all this stuff and whatever, and got together for what? 140? They got him for what? 140?
They got him for what was it, 150 grand? Was it?
Like,
Well,
yeah, like
150.
150. Yeah, like
total of everything, 150. You know,
Yeah.
cash and then
In a
jewelry.
bag. In a
yeah, all
bag.
together like 150.
In a bag. Yeah,
And
man.
then
I mean, it's
he-
real. It's real.
He got rid of.
Yeah.
He said he got rid of the guys that that messed up, but it's like at the same time that was a chink in the armor right there. That was a weak link, and you can't be caught slipping out there in someone else's territory. You can't be sitting there saying,
Thank you.
I mean,
Absolutely right.
You're the king of Brooklyn.
If
You
people,
can't say that. You're the king of Brooklyn, and then you're getting caught up like that. You got to be cool. You got to respect other people's
You're
territory.
absolutely right.
Yeah,
My point is exactly.
hey,
You're absolutely right.
but I'm gonna get to another call because the phone line's filling up real quick. All right, bro. So you have
All
a
right,
good one. All right, man.
thanks, Dante, man. Thanks for
Hey,
having
thanks a
me,
lot.
man.
Take it easy. Have a good one now.
All y'all have a blessed and wonderful night.
Hey, take care,
Hey,
man.
same to you.
No doubt.
Hey, take care.
Okay.
All right.
And with that, I want to say, a lot of boxers have to realize, on the streets, unfortunately, there are no rules. You know what I mean? So,
Yes.
a jab ain't gonna do you a whole lot, of good when you in there with killers. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm just saying, and a lot of times it ain't gonna be, it ain't gonna be the star. It ain't gonna be the main guy who's gonna jump on you. It's gonna be the dude, trying to impress the star who's gonna jump out and do something. You know what I mean? Because they want to show loyalty. So so hopefully, they pull back from this situation. We don't need, this type of civil war. Because when you look at the Canelo Alvarez situation, you see how loyal them fans are to Canelo Alvarez. They don't care. I mean, Canelo can come flat out and say, "Yo, I cheated. Here, let me show you when I it wasn't no meat, contamination. It was nothing." And those fans are gonna be loyal to him. They gonna go down with the sinking ship. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if they're doing it on their part, why are we doing that? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
I can understand, some things you can't avoid. You know what I mean? Some things you just can't avoid. But this situation right here could have easily been avoided, So, yeah, man.
And it just sheds a bad light on Charlo, and he's such a great talent.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, he's such a great talent. I think
Yes, he is.
he's the top guy, even though he doesn't have a belt. I think he's the most dangerous guy at 160.
Yeah, I'm reading it.
No denying it.
I'm looking at the comments, but I'm hearing you, man. I'm hearing these cats are funny with these emojis that they're using when it comes to the meat contamination, But yeah, I'm looking at these Canelo meat contamination comments over here. Speaking of that, I wanted to respond to somebody in the comment section. Someone asked, they said, Dante, I heard that HBO, they suspended the fight. I just made a video reporting the news. What it is Dan Rafael from ESPN, he reported that he talked to the spokesman for HBO. I have the video up, and I have you guys can watch the video. It's I'll put the link in there as well. But basically, HBO, they said they suspended programming promotion until they find out what's going to happen with your boy Canelo Alvarez. Money. This situation is creating a snowball effect. Canelo Alvarez, he fails this test twice for Clenbuterol in February, and now, it's affecting HBO. It's affecting everybody, that has something to do with this fight. I mean, what are your thoughts on HBO actually suspending programming promotion for the fight until they find out what's going to happen with Canelo, which Nevada State Athletic Commission, they suspended Canelo until further notice. Further notice will be April 10th. And then they're going to make a decision. If you put money on this, money, so money, I want to say that again. I like how that sounds. So money, if you put money on this, does the fight go down or what? Or does it get canceled?
I'm thinking it's going to get canceled. When was the last time you ever heard of HBO canceling a promotion for any fight? Other than this one. I mean, I'm trying to dial back to the early 80s when I first started watching HBO boxing, really like at the start of '80, you know, and I can't remember a time when that ever happened. That's just how far we are into this. That is extremely serious. And I'm thinking, me personally, hey man, you failed the test twice, not once, but twice. And regardless of whatever happens, if you win, you lose.
Yes, lose. It's lose money. Go ahead, money.
I just think the best thing for him to do, for everyone, cancel the fight, fight someone else. Both guys fight someone else, and then later towards the end of the year, if everything's okay, all right, make up a date to fight again. It clears the air.
Great way to break it down, money. And I'll say this to add on to what you just said. Yeah, it makes sense what you just said, because if I was Canelo Alvarez and I know I'm in a situation, that's got to be depressing. It's got to be hard to train. Yes. It's got to be hard to train under that stress, knowing that even if I win this fight, you could knock out Golovkin. What are people going to talk about after the fight? What are they going to talk about after the fight? You know what I mean?
They're going to talk. Yep.
So it would seem, and I don't think Canelo's going to do it. I mean, it's too much pressure. And boy, oh boy, if this fight doesn't come to fruition, man, oh man, Golden Boy might go under. They might go under. But I will say this: if I was Canelo Alvarez, I would pull out of the fight, because I don't want my biggest win to be tainted. You know what I mean? You guys got to realize, people don't realize this. Canelo's biggest wins are all surrounded around controversy. You know what I mean? Like his biggest wins was against Lara and against Austin Trout, right? His biggest knockout was against Amir Khan, right? So now if you go into this fight, you beat Canelo Golovkin, and we know the facts that you tested positive, regardless if it was intentional, unintentional, that doesn't matter. You had a drug in your system that enhances your performance, or at least gives you an edge that Golovkin didn't have training for the fight. For those of you guys who aren't too familiar with Clenbuterol, it's a drug that increases muscle mass, or you can say it preserves muscle mass while burning fat. Because for a lot of people who don't understand, how building muscle works and losing weight, a lot of times people don't realize this, but when you're working out and you're losing weight, a lot of times you're burning muscle with the fat. It's very difficult to burn fat without burning muscle. And sometimes if you're not doing it right, you'll be burning more muscle than fat. If your diet is not right, it's extremely difficult to maintain, without losing muscle. So once again, this drug, it gives you the advantage of burning the fat without worrying about losing muscle mass. So that's what
but you know something, Dante? You know something? I wish they would give me some Clenbuterol.
That's what I said. I
could use that.
I could use that, yeah. If we, as long as we ain't hitting nobody upside the head, we can all use some Clenbuterol, So money, if you ain't doing nothing next weekend, man, let's go to Mexico and get us some of them tacos and get some meat out there, man.
I'm telling you, man.
If you telling me, if we can lose weight eating asada and tacos all damn day, I'm with it. I love me some damn tacos anyway. So
I like how you said that.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, man. I'm getting swole. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get me a shirt, man. I'm gonna say, built by tacos or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Built by steak tacos. That's for those
I love it.
For those of you guys who don't know, Eric Morales, Francisco Vargas, and even some American athletes, they've tested positive for this drug as well. But Francisco Vargas and Eric Morales in particular, they all... Hey, you guys are hearing me right now? Okay, it said reconnection successful. Okay. Hey, you guys... Okay, yeah, I see it says stream done. I want to make sure everybody's hearing me before I go ahead and shout out the most important people, in the tank right now. Hey, you guys are hearing me, right? Make sure everybody hearing me. Okay, it says stream resume. Okay. Yeah, okay. So let me go ahead and shout out the most important people in the tank right now, and that is, of course, the Super Chat Army. They're showing this love. You know, I couldn't do this without you guys showing this love. I appreciate it. Let me see. Shout out to my man, everybody donating to the movement, donating to Dante's Boxing Nation New Media. My man Curtis Anderson, he said Davis lacks focus and discipline. He donated. I appreciate it. My man Black Fight Fan TV. I appreciate that, family. He said we will be happy to return all favors down in Texas. Believe that. Yeah, and he didn't say down in Texas. He said down in Texas. You know, my man Beast Mode. He said, what is it? Male Mall are acting like lions should. That's what he said, man. So he's condoning the Charlos. And that's pretty much what it is, man. So, hey, man, I appreciate the most important cats in the Super Chat Army that's holding it down, repping that new media. I appreciate you guys. So, with that being said, hey, my phone line, you guys are there, right? Money and Kirk, are you guys there? Okay, it got quiet.
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
yes.
It got quiet for a minute. I want to just make sure because I got like some kind of disconnection little message. Okay, let's go back to the phone lines. Here, let me see here. The phone lines are lit. I appreciate you guys waiting on hold. Once again, man, hey, if you guys want to call in, and let me say this before I answer this next call, man. I'm about to go to the next call. So 773, go ahead and get ready because you next, man. So you can prepare for your response better than everyone else. But before I take that call, I want to say this, man. Once again, man, when I'm reporting this news, Canelo fell in the test or whatever the news is, if you guys are quick to watch the video and respond in the comment section, you guys should be quick to call in and give us your take on the situation. The only reason you wouldn't call in is because you know deep down that you're listening to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You know what I'm saying? And you know damn well if you try to use that ridiculous rhetoric you using in the comment section, that I'm gonna expose you. And that's gonna expose everyone. So you basically say, you know what, we just gonna say this because it's therapeutic, regardless if it's true or not. But call in, man. You know, this is free education. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to pay for this college. We're going to give you a grant over here. You could go ahead and get this education for free. All right, y'all? Anyway, let's go ahead and take the next call. 773, what's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Hey, my name is Melvin Jackson. I'm calling from Chicago.
Melvin, what's going on, Chi-Town? What's on your mind?
Hey, how you doing? I just wanted to say hey to you and say hey to Money Pal and Kurt and stuff. Nice to meet y'all.
Hey, nice to meet you as well. Hope that all is well now.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
I just wanted to I was laughing to myself because I was like, let me get in detail, man. You know black fighters don't sell. I was like, I can't even say that with a straight face.
You got to let them code words. Boy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I can't even say that with a straight face.
Oh, no.
Hey, I'm looking at guys like Wilder, Charlo, Crawford, Errol Smith, Mike Powell, even your son. I was like, man, the era of the ducking, boy. You gotta love it.
Man, oh man.
And Mike Powell, when you got your son away for boxing, did you tell him, son, there's gonna be serious ducking coming your way?
I'm telling you, man. I've already told him, some of the things that, hey, you're gonna run into some stuff as you advance on. So he knows about it. Hey, but to experience it, I'll be right there for it.
Hey, Money, it ain't nothing wrong with being number one pound for pound on the coincidental list. Ain't nothing wrong with it, man.
Ain't nothing wrong at all. I told him. I said, when you move up, you're going to see some funny things starting to happen. A bunch of invisible arrows being shot your way.
Invisible arrows. I love it. Because that's real talk right there. It's going to be a whole lot of invisible arrows, you know what I mean? But, yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
before I go, I just wanted to say, shout out to Dante. Please subscribe to his channel.
Thank
and
you.
stuff. It's a great channel. You get educated and stuff. And that's all I gotta say, man. Thanks. It was an honor.
Thank you. Hey, thanks for calling in,
Thank
man.
you.
I appreciate you, man.
You take care. Have a good one now.
Good
Thanks
stuff.
for supporting.
You too.
Good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Man. Good stuff.
All right now.
Okay, so we touched on Canelo. And just for everybody just tuning in, since the title of the video is about Jermall Charlo, Tank Davis, Adrian Broner. Once again, you guys, if you haven't watched the video and you haven't heard what Jermall Charlo said about AB and Gervonta Tank Davis, the video, the link is in my description box right now. So if you're watching this and you want to check it out, go ahead and click on that link. Jermall Charlo, he went in. You know what I'm saying? It was on some Tupac type stuff. Real talk. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. I mean, but once again, the stuff he said about AB, him saying that AB, he said, I'm a curse. I want to just go ahead and reiterate. He said, I feel like I'm a curse to Adrian Broner because every time I'm on his card, he lose. And so he said, they building this fight as Hispanic, versus black, or he said the fight is Hispanic versus black, and he said, I'm going to do my part. This is what he said. He said, I can't speak for Adrian Broner. So clearly he's implying he doesn't have confidence that AB is going to win the fight against Jesse Vargas, which we all know that that's a very, very tall order for AB.
Yes, that is a tough fight.
Yeah, when it comes to that fight. But once again, man, I mean, we'll see what your boy AB does. I mean, come on, Money, you might as well tell us, man. I mean, you know what? Let me ask Kirk real quick, because I'll talk to Kirk in a minute. Kirk, who has the edge in that fight?
I'm going to go with Jesse Vargas. I think over the course of his career, he's shown more consistency. And excuse me, when looking at both fighters, we got to ask, like, what are their biggest wins? And look at people. I think they underlook Jesse Vargas. They got to remember he shared the ring with Manny Pacquiao. He was actually competitive. He shared the ring against Timothy Bradley. That was kind of a whitewash, but even still, at least the last round, he hurt Tim Bradley, and I think he hurt Manny a few times. He's very consistent. He's got some good trainers. He's working with Mike McCollum. It's going to be a really good fight.
Yeah. I mean, once again, it's so tough for Adrian Broner right now, but I got to give Adrian Broner credit once again, because he is one of the rare fighters that will continue to go in there with tough competition. But you also have to credit Al Haymon for that. See, once again, man, Al Haymon is a mastermind. I mean, he really is, in the best way you can say that, because Al Haymon, he realized that a lot of promoters were punishing fighters for losing, with these contracts like, hey, we're going to give you this deal, but if you lose, you lose 2 fights, you out. You lose this fight, whatever. So, a lot of fighters that don't have the confidence of being great, of course, that's going to make them hesitant to jump in there with anyone. But I believe that Al Haymon, he was one of the first, promoter/advisors that came out and said, listen, man, don't worry. If you lose, we're going to bring you back. You don't have to worry. You know what I'm saying? Go in there, do your best. But don't be pressured thinking if I lose, that messes my money up or whatever, because we've seen it Adrian Broner is a prime example, right? Adrian Broner lost to Porter. Yeah. They brought him back for a title shot against Oliver Diaz, right? He loses to, who did he lose to after that? He lost to, was it Mikey Garcia the second loss? No, he lost to Maidana. Then he lost to Porter. Yeah, right. Then he lost to Porter. Then he lost to Mikey Garcia. Now he gets an option to fight against Jesse Vargas or your boy from Texas. Oh man, why am I forgetting his name? What was his name that pulled out, had the DUI issues?
Omar Figueroa.
Omar Figueroa. So that's what that is. But before we move on, once again, man, and I'm gonna go ahead and shout them all out again. Whenever we get new love, I'm gonna go ahead and shout everybody out, because once again, these are the most important cats that's helping us push this tank, and I appreciate you guys donating. This is my full-time hustle. So once again, man, shout out to Curtis Anderson. Shout out to Black Fight Fan TV. Shout out to Beast Mode 209. Shout out to Dark Truth. Did I read this one? This is a new one. Is it? Let me see. Charlo Talks is, this is what Dark Truth said. He said, Charlo Talks is a fighter and a goon. He did not talk to Davis as a fighter. That is Davis, what did he say? That is Davis responded that way. Charlo did that Brooklyn as well. He got taxed for it as well. $150K worth is what Dark Truth said. I appreciate your donation, man. My man William McCullen, he donated, showing love in that super chat section. He said Tank started this because he's not the co-main event anymore. He was sneak dissing Charlo. Charlo responded with facts. I don't really know about this. He said Tank started this. I really don't know exactly what he's referring to. Kirk, well, and shout out to Xavier Melendez. Xavier Melendez showing love. He didn't comment, but I appreciate that. Showing that love once again. Keeping these wheels lubricated. We moving over here, y'all. Hashtag new media. Kirk, have you heard about this Tank sneak diss Charlo before? And this is the reason why Charlo said this, because, you know, this is what someone in the comment section said, that Tank, he sneak dissed Charlo before. You heard anything about this, Kirk?
I haven't heard anything about it. It wouldn't surprise me. I know Gervonta said a few things about Wilder, and the Charlos, you know, are tough. But the funny thing about the entire thing that Charlo ranted about is he said he's tired of being on the Broner card or whatnot, but is he going to get more views headlining a card by himself? I mean, win, lose, or draw, Adrian Broner, he's an attraction. So, I mean, you're doing yourself a favor if you're featured on a card with him, especially if your fight got canceled. I mean, I think that's kind of like a blessing in disguise to be on that same card.
Yeah. And hey, on top of that, I mean, yeah, he can just look at it. Even if you believe you helping Broner, even if that's the case, I mean, you know, make that look good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Once again, man, people on the coincidental list have to realize they don't have too many allies. You know what I'm saying? So when you want to try to, align with as many cats as you can. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Y'all ain't the only one that can speak them damn, code words and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that's real talk, though. That's real talk. I mean, don't get me wrong. Once again, sometimes you just got to smack somebody upside the head. Sometimes they leave you no choice. But if they leaving you a choice, let that be the last resort is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Shout out to another member that is saluting part of that DBN army. The most important cats in the comment section is my man, Struggle Boxing. He said, you think Charlo should do stand-up after boxing? I guess, yeah. And guys, I'm just reading these soon as they come in, so I don't prepare this or nothing. These are just cats is donating and they comment, and I read it soon as it comes in. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, he didn't have a question mark. He had a period. So, but I'm assuming that was supposed to be a question. But let's just hope he doesn't have to, transition into being a comedian. You know what was
funny too was he was getting on that pad work too. You see him talking about the pad work?
That was funny. I mean, I do like spontaneous stuff like that. I ain't gonna lie. He just jumped up. He told his kid, "Come over here. Put your hands up." That was funny, man. That was hilarious. So I guess he does have some hidden talents, but yeah, that was pretty funny though, so that was hilarious. I'm looking at the comment section. They just saying, yeah, that was hilarious. Pad work was hilarious. Let me just read some random comments in the comment section. Let me see. If AB let his hands go against Vargas, it's a wrap. Easy money. All right, I appreciate that, Victor Rosario, DBN Best Boxing Blogger. I appreciate that. Of course, I'm going to read that. Y'all can type that all day. We're going to read them comments for sure. Okay, thanks. Let me see. AB going to win. Let me see. Oh, yeah, man. Of course, man. My man said, shout out Milton over there holding it down all day, man. That's actually my bad. That's actually what I meant to say at the beginning of the show. If you guys are wondering where, my co-host Milton is, unfortunately, my man Milton, he had to relocate. He's in the military, and he's out there in Saudi Arabia. Is it money? Is it?
Yes.
He's in Saudi Arabia, guys. He took an assignment out there. Unfortunately, he's going to be gone for a whole year. All right, so I'm going to most likely get someone else in as a co-host in the studio eventually. But yeah, eventually we'll have Milton on screen. We'll go ahead and do some some Skype type stuff, some picture-in-picture video type chats with him, and that's pretty much what it is. Let me see. Okay, my man Julio Ramirez said, hey, Dante, let's talk about if the fight between Canelo and Gigi going to happen. I'm trying to move back up. Where'd the comment go? Okay, the comments are coming in. Okay, okay, what you think? That's what he said. We talked about this earlier, and once again, I asked Money, and my man Money, he said he thinks the fight will be canceled. Once again, just reiterating, relaying what Money said. He said, when's the last time HBO has suspended promotion for a fight? You know what, Kirk, the Money, and we'll take another call. The phone lines are lit. I'm about to take another call right after Kirk gives his thoughts on this. But Kirk, what do you think about Money saying that? HBO, they haven't suspended promoting a fight in quite some time, and we already know HBO they don't really have too many fights scheduled for the year. Last time I checked, I believe it's only 2 fights, and Lord forbid the Canelo Golovkin fight gets canceled. Man, that's gonna be tough for HBO. Your thoughts on this whole situation? Does the fight go down May 5th or not, Kirk?
This is unprecedented. I don't think we've ever.
Hold on one sec. Hold on one quick second, man. I got my man Hasim Rahman Jr. just called in. Not to cut you off, Kirk, but I wanted to get him because he was calling in. Hey, what's going on, Hasim?
What's up? What's up, B?
Oh, just chilling, man. You call right into the live show, man. What's on your mind, Hasim? That's Hasim Rahman's son, y'all. The former heavyweight champion son. He's also a heavyweight prospect. So go ahead, Hasim. What's on your mind, family?
Nah, I just wanted to see what y'all thought on the landscape of the heavyweight division. I don't know. I just was hitting you up. I didn't even know you was live right now. But what you think about what you think about the landscape right now? How it's looking after last weekend and after a couple weekends ago?
Well, I'm gonna have to get your thoughts too, since you a heavyweight prospect. But Hasim, man, I think things is looking good right now, and I think Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, they brought things back. Deontay, he has the charisma, he's animated, he's knocking everybody out. He has his vulnerabilities, which is dramatic. It's entertaining. It's let Jim what's his name, Jim Lampley tell it. That's supposed to be Gaddy list type stuff. So he got the mix of everything. Let him tell it. And then you got Anthony Joshua, man, and Hasim. Anthony, hey, let me ask you this, Hasim. You as a heavyweight, what you think about Anthony Joshua basically saying he requested Deontay Wilder not to enter the ring if he beats Joseph Parker? And he said if Wilder keeps, quote, this is what he said, if Wilder keeps hooting and hollering, he said if Wilder keeps hooting and hollering, he'll freeze him out, meaning he may not even get a fight. Your thoughts on that whole situation, Hasim?
Why he didn't do that to Brazil? Why he didn't do that to Tyson Fury? Why he didn't do that to who he fought last, Klitschko? He ain't did that. He ain't said that about nobody else. He fought that guy who was supposed to get in the ring. What he don't want Deontay to see how tall he is? He don't want to get up in his face? I mean, the best fighters of our time, man, we seen it time and time again. They come face to face as part of boxing. So to that, what that take you to is, dang, so he ain't trying to be in a Lennox situation where you know, Riddick Bowe really sunned Lennox on TV for real when he got out the ring. You know what I'm saying? He probably ain't trying to be in that situation. So you never, I don't know. But the things that you were saying about Deontay, how he got vulnerabilities and he powerful and all that, but Anthony Joshua got the same thing.
You're right. You're right.
They really,
Both
you
guys
know,
are
really
vulnerable.
similar stories.
No.
But as far as the landscape of the division, I feel like it's really all about to come to a head. We about to have within the next 2 years before 2020 start, we should have a clear-cut, undisputed heavyweight champion.
Yeah, absolutely. So how's that fight gonna play out though? Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker. Does Parker have any chance, Hasim?
I don't got no picks.
No picks?
You know me in this heavyweight division, man. I don't got no picks. Everybody got to see me. So we can talk about whatever other division I pick, but this division, either one of them, Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker, I respect both of them. They're both world champions, but at the end of the day, they both got to find a way to beat me. So we're going to see what's up.
And speak on that. You guys, for everybody just tuning in to the live show, you guys are listening to Hasim Rahman Jr., one of the best heavyweight prospects out right here in Las Vegas on the horn. Let me see. Somebody just told me, ask Rahman when his next fight. Yeah, I was getting to that, Detroit. I was definitely getting to that. But they definitely listening to you right now, and they want to know, they snatching my questions, champ. So when's your next fight? And let cats know where they can follow you, man, when they, so they can start seeing what's up on you or what's up with you.
I just got a phone call today saying that we got something real big. Might be on my real first big card coming up real soon. So I'm waiting to hear some news about it. But if I'm not in the ring in April, I'll definitely be in the ring June 29th, Baltimore, Maryland, Mountains West. That's already locked and loaded, but I'm trying to get something in. Trying to hop in the ring before that, because my last fight, I'm looking to go ahead and put on a better performance. You know, sometimes you don't look as good as you playing, so I'm just learning the game, and I'm gonna go ahead and get right back in there.
Mm-hmm. What did you learn though? What did you learn from that last performance, Hasim?
Man, look, about 10, 12 days before the fight, I got diagnosed with pneumonia, and I was supposed to fight a whole different guy. They switched the guy on me at the last minute, but me being the soldier that I am, I don't, you know, I feel like I could beat everybody. So it didn't matter who they switched the opponent to. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter that I wasn't at 100%. It didn't matter that I wasn't with my coaches, who was Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis. None of that mattered to me. I was just ready, so itching to go in there and get in there and fight. But you know. As long as I had my dad with me, I felt confident. But next time we will have 100%, be 100%, and have a great training camp, and go ahead and continue with my career. But the lesson I learned was you always got to be 100% ready. Don't nobody care about what's going on in your personal life when you get in that ring. All that shit goes out the window. You get in there, you got to kill or be killed, and it's really a dangerous sport.
All day, family. Once again, everybody just tuning in. You guys are listening to Hasim Rahman Jr., heavyweight prospect. Obviously, if you've been watching boxing, you know his dad, the former heavyweight champion of the world, that knocked out Lennox Lewis in Africa, South Africa. You repping Baltimore, Hasim Rahman. Your dad, obviously, born and raised. You know it. And B-more. So it wouldn't be right, man, if I don't ask you. You got to give me your thoughts, man. You know everybody talking about it. You already know what I'm about to ask you, man. Your boy Jermall Charlo, man. He hit him up. Your boy Charlo, he hit him up. He basically, he said some things. You heard about what he said, right? Or did you not?
Yeah, man, I heard it, but it's a bunch of, at the end of the day, it's a bunch of fake smoke, man. I think
fake smoke.
Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to nobody. We all out here trying to get this money to our sport, so it ain't no. I think it's a whole bunch of everybody just riled up because they want to fight. Everybody want to fight. Charlo want to fight. Tank want to fight. AB want to fight. Shit, I want to fight too. Everybody want to fight, but it's an unfortunate situation when you think you're gonna be, the co-main, and then some stuff happened, regardless of who it was. But you get your TV time bumped off. So obviously Tank felt some type of way. But as far as it going outside of boxing, man.
But Tank was also responding though. But Tank was also responding to what Charlo said too, though. But go ahead though, Hasim.
No, yeah, I mean, you're supposed to respond. You got to respond.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on all sides of the table. But I mean, when it come down to fight week, who want to really be beefing with at the end of the day, somebody they're gonna be back cool with over a fight that's on the record for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want nothing to take away from your focus like that, man. So my advice to all parties involved would be just, man, focus and get this money. Ain't gonna get no money fighting. Tank ain't gonna get no money fighting Charlo. Charlo ain't gonna get no money fighting Tank.
There.
So what's that? That's they never gonna fight.
Words.
So it's like, man, you know what? Put the money to put the beef into the side, because it ain't even nothing where it would even be fair if they sparred it out. Put that to the side. How you feel is how you feel. But see, you know, don't nobody want to really take it to the streets. Everybody know how that's going to result, and it ain't good for nobody.
And that's why I hope that don't happen, Hasim. That's why I hope that don't happen, because these
all
these are real dudes.
Are smart. Everybody's smart guys, and everybody about their next check. So just focus on the next check, man.
Yeah, all day. That's what it is, man. Hey, man. Well,
thank you for giving me the opportunity, Dante. Man, I was calling to check up on you. I didn't know you was live.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. Don't leave me hanging, man. So yeah, hit me on whenever, man, so we can link up. All right, fam.
No doubt. Thank you, man. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
All right.
Hey, take it easy. Have a good one now.
Take care,
right,
man. Take care.
You too. Take care.
That was pretty cool. My bad. I want to get back to the point. I wanted to go ahead and answer that before he hung up because he was calling in. So going back to your point, man, if you remember, Kirk, we was talking about the Canelo situation. If you put money on this, does Canelo cancel? Does HBO? Will they go ahead? No, I shouldn't say HBO. Will Nevada State Athletic Commission? Will they suspend him indefinitely? At least when it comes to this fight right here. Your thoughts, Kirk, and HBO only having 1 or 2 fights scheduled for the year. Is this the beginning of the end for HBO? Your thoughts on all of this, Kirk?
Well, I mean, I do think it's the beginning of the end for HBO, just from a general landscape with their lack of fights and quality fighters that they're marketing. But in regard to what they'll do at the event, I'm not sure. I think they're going to try and put a feeler out there, and I'm not sure if they have any kind of contingency plan. We know that, according to Tom Loeffler, who's Gennady Golovkin's promoter, regardless of who it is, Golovkin will be fighting on May 5th. And Canelo, as far as I know, he's still training. So,
definitely. He better keep training.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he better be, right? So, I mean...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we don't really know. I mean, according to the hearing, I mean, that's what will determine whether or not the fight goes on. And it just depends on how much money can be earned. Money talks.
Yeah.
If the demand is great enough, the fight will happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about getting money.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's go ahead and take another call. I appreciate you guys waiting on hold. Thanks again for my boy Hasim Rahman Jr., heavyweight prospect. He called in, randomly. Let me go ahead and once again, we got some new people that just joined that DBN Army. The most important cats out over here, repping, holding it down. Once again, man, everybody in that super chat, Army, Curtis Anderson, Black Fight Fan TV, Beast Mode 209, Dark Truth, William McCullen, Xavier Melendez, Struggle Boxing, Kevin Stenhouse, a new one. He just said, Kevin Stenhouse just showed love. I appreciate that, family. He said, Thurman, Porter, Garcia don't want that spent smoke because Brooke Peterson looked like Martin Lawrence versus Hearns after they fought. Arrow. Hashtag the truth 147. That's what Kevin just said. Errol Spence right now is definitely the most respected man at 147, hands down. My man William, he left another donation. I appreciate that. Let me see what he say. He said, "Told you Tank started it. He was mad about the co-main." Okay, he's saying the co-main event. Yeah, okay. I don't know. Once again, I mean, I don't know what Tank said before, but I'm reading these comments. Let me see. My man Xavier Melendez, he showed some more love. Another donation, I appreciate it. He said Canelo gets suspended after the fight. Watch. Well, you know, if I'm putting my money on this, I can't see Nevada State Athletic Commission suspending Canelo and Durrell in this fight from coming to fruition. I don't see them doing it. I don't see them doing it. Now, ESPN's Dan Raphael, he just tweeted, he says something like, for everyone who thinks that, you know, what did he say? He says something like, for everyone who thinks that this is just NSAC just trying to act like they're doing something when they're really not. He's, Dan Raphael, he believes that this fight may very well get canceled. And he used Tyson Lewis as an example because he said they wouldn't host that fight out here in Las Vegas, so they had to host it somewhere else. If you guys recall, Tyson versus Lewis was, where was it? Was it Mississippi, Kirk? Or was it, or Money? What was Tyson?
I think it was Tennessee.
Tennessee. I knew it was somewhere down south.
Yeah, it was Tennessee. That was up in Memphis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you know, with that being said, I still don't believe it. I don't believe it. You know, because I honestly, I don't even see why they would have to think about it. Why would you need, what's today? Today is the 25th. 15 days, 16 days. You need 16 days to figure out if a guy who tested positive twice for a enhancing drug should be suspended or not. I mean, what's the basis? I really don't understand. What is there to think about? What is there to think about? You know what I mean? Because once again, I mean, let's say Canelo went to sleep and some hater framed him and set him up and injected him with all type of PEDs. You know what I'm saying? Let's stay on code. Small traces, right? Somebody injected him with small traces of a performing enhancing drug, right? And let's say we got the dude on camera. Let's say, you know, we got the guy on camera. We seen that someone injected him, right? Is that going to change the fact that someone has an advantage going into the fight? It's still not going to change that. So it does. So I'm still kind of not understanding. You know what? Let's go. I got these guys on hold. Let me go ahead and take another call real quick.
Okay.
We got 704. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? This is Rob, man, calling from Charlotte, North Carolina.
What's going on, Rob? What's going on? What's on your mind, man?
I'm good.
What's going on?
Man, I appreciate listening to y'all, listen to the wisdom. Dante, I love your intros, man. That girl, that little kiss, man. You need to send her to me.
Which one, man? Which one, man?
The one that walked down the hall doing a little prance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Brittany. Okay. Got you.
Brittany, yes.
Yeah.
But no,
Brianna, my bad. That's Brianna. That's not Brittany.
Yes,
that's Brianna.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Hey,
go
Bree.
ahead.
No, just kidding.
Sorry, Brianna. Sorry about that.
Sure.
Oh,
No doubt.
man.
No doubt. But
Go ahead.
Listen in, man. And I came up from the old school. You know what I'm saying? Like, part of my family is Marvin Hack. That's he sort of raised me. Him and Robbie Sims raised me up back in the day and brought me into boxing. But he stopped training me when he fought Roberto Duran. So, I've been around boxing all my life because all around my family. So just listening to some of these boxers now, this is my personal view, and listen to the comments. It's like boxing needs another showman. Like Floyd is gone now, Ali is gone now. So now everybody's like trying to get their place to be like the top dog. I think the way that the brother Charlo, what he was saying, when I listened to that message, I was like, man, this sounds like, forget boxing, this sounds like going to the street. You know, because they're both clearly bigger than he's clearly bigger than him. You know what I'm saying, Gervonta, and these guys have that street resume behind them, so it don't take much to go there. I mean, I understand what Rockman said, but it don't take much, you know, and it's sad because they need to understand, for this, no disrespect to anybody white, But for black men to even get money like this, this is not helping. When people hear this, oh, let's do this, and I'll see you there, and they hear this threatening. That's just another way that they can shut stuff down. Brothers need to understand. Look, I understand you're trying to make, raise, splash in the water, and make some noise, but there's a way that you got to go about it. When Ali did it, it went from now we started off with float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, to now I'll see you when I see you. I'm like, what? Just wait a minute.
Oh man!
But
it was all entertainment. Yeah, it was all entertainment. When everything Ali did was all entertainment, though. That wasn't no serious type stuff. I mean, it was all entertainment.
Yeah.
So
I
feel you.
When Ali spoke, you were like, oh, ha, ha. But now when you speak, you're like laughing, but you look behind your back like, oh, shit, wait a minute. You got a gun?
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's right.
And just like the brother said earlier, he said, just like the Tekashi 6ix9ine going to the rap. Brothers got to understand, like, certain things you say, you can't say to everybody.
Yeah.
Because if I say you, what's up? You hearing what's up, where you come from, is a different reaction that people get. You know what I'm saying? So when these boxers say certain things, trying to get people riled up, what they say to one may not be the same reaction they get, because everybody is brought up differently. You know, so, and if other people take it, because you might have a camp, because most now, these boxers have camps, and sometimes the people behind them are the ones that pull the triggers and do stuff. So it's like they got to be careful and then watch what they say and the people around them, because they may be like, okay, we're going to squash it. But now this dude is like, I don't like that dude's friend anyways. And then start something. And now that puts both them boxers in a bad position where they're not getting money and now they're looking at legal trouble. So it's like they got to be careful what they say, because it's bigger than them.
That's so true.
Paydays. It's way bigger than them.
Yeah, it's way bigger.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, I don't want to see nothing happen to the Charlos. I don't want nothing to happen to Tank or Team Tank. I want them to continue to progress and evolve in the sport. You know what I'm saying? And be considered pound for pound some of the best fighters in the world. That's what they aspire to be. So I don't want to see no distractions jump in the way. We had some great talents in the past. You got what's his name? Aaron Pryor and fighters like that that was on the path to being great, and certain personal distractions, stop them from being as great as they should have been. You know what I mean? So keep the personal, like I said, just, I mean, it's all entertainment, you know what I'm saying? And once again, I want to stress this point. Sometimes you have to do it, you know what I mean? But if you're not forced to do it, then, I don't see the reason, especially, to where it gets to a point to where, like you say, okay, I see y'all in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, cats are not just saying this. These are not just trolls saying this. These are dudes with a face and a name. You know what I'm saying? These ain't anonymous decafs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just saying, fuck you, you bastard, Dante, you bastard. You know what I'm saying? It ain't. and then when they see me, hey, can I take a picture with you, bro? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I know that was you. I know that was your ass. You know what I'm saying? I know that was you. But anyway, man.
Dante, Dante, real quick, I'm gonna get off the phone with you. But the most important thing too, a lot of these guys don't realize, bruh, you don't got no bread yet. Why are you even talking yet? Like Dan Jacobs said to him, I got M's. What are we talking about? I got M's. And dude was like, well, I'm coming to get him. And he sounded stupid when he said it, like, oh, this dude just told you he gets millions. You don't even got him. You just said to him, I don't got no bread. It's like these guys don't understand the levels that you're talking about. If you ain't got no bread, you need to chill out. You can start talking like that when you get some bread a little bit.
But I don't even think it's if you got bread. I mean, because Tupac and Biggie had bread. You know what I'm saying? And so I mean, it's just, once again, man, you got to be real careful. Like you said in the beginning, man. I mean, it shouldn't go outside of boxing. Obviously, Tank is a what? A lightweight, a junior lightweight or whatever he is. and Charlo is a middleweight, so clearly it ain't gonna be something in the ring. That's the reason why. That's the reason why Gervonta said, "You put a finger on me, you won't box another day in your life." This is what Gervonta said to
That is
Charlo.
serious.
You know, you don't hear. You think about all the beefs we've seen with fighters in the past. We ain't never, kind of like what my man alluded to, we ain't never heard nobody respond like that. You know, I mean, Tank, we ain't never heard nobody respond like that. So we could even, you know, talk more about present day, you know, beefs on Twitter. And, you know, we could use examples. Don't nobody say nothing like that. You see people exchanging words all the time, and it don't get that serious. Yeah. So, man.
So like cookout beef.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, bro.
I appreciate y'all, man.
No doubt, man. Take care, family.
Same to you, though.
All right, man.
Easy.
All right.
And even in that video, Charlo, again, he said I run Brooklyn. And this is coming off the conflict that he had with Danny Jacobs a few weeks ago, and getting his back by them girls or whatnot. And it's like, you can't I run Brooklyn, because someone in Brooklyn's going to take that shit the wrong way. And they going to...
It's no joke. It is no joke, man. These people are not playing.
I don't want to see, and I don't want to see that happen.
It's like you being from New York and you saying, "Oh, I run Oakland, you know, I run LA," and it's like, all right, when you come out here, it's gonna be you're gonna see what you run. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So once again, let me go ahead and shout out some of the new members of the most important part of this tank, DBN Super Chat Army, showing that love, donating. I appreciate anything you guys donate. You know, if you guys really appreciate and you know, like what we're doing over here, let me go ahead and say what's up to, is that Mapogo? Hold it down, DBN. We need to stick together. Yeah, where you from, man? That sounds like some South African stuff right there, man. That's what's up. We got DCB says salute. And my man Christopher Smith, Triple G requested a lie detector. Don't let that slide. That's what my man Chris said. My man Julio L. What's up with Thurman fight around the corner? That's a good question, Julio. That's a real good question. I'm actually surprised they haven't announced who Thurman's next opponent will be. Kirk, any buzz on that? You hear anything about that yet? Any news with Thurman's next opponent?
I heard a few weeks ago I heard Victor Ortiz's name associated with Thurman a few weeks ago, but I haven't heard anything since, so I have no clue.
That's funny you mentioned that. Kirk, because when I talked to Thurman at the whatever fight that was, what fight was that out here in Vegas? Was it Vegas? Whenever I seen Thurman last, I interviewed him, and I actually asked him that question. I said, "What do you think about fighting Victor Ortiz?" He said, "Well, didn't Victor Ortiz just have a draw with what's his name?
Devin Alexander.
Devin Alexander," and he said, and he was like, and I was like, "Yeah, but you know, I guess that will still be a good fight. I guess for, you know, if you're not gonna fight Jesse Vargas, if you're not gonna fight Errol Spence, if you're not gonna fight, you know, Sean Porter, I wouldn't mind seeing him in there with, I guess, it is what it is. I mean, once we eliminate all the other, you know, options, I guess it doesn't matter. Money, would you prefer Thurman to fight, what's his name, Devin Alexander or Victor Ortiz? What do you think he should do in his next fight if he ain't going to fight, you know, the top guys?
If he didn't fight, you know, someone that, you know, like much more up there, sure, though, either one of those guys would be a good fight for him. I think personally, it would be a little bit more exciting with Victor Ortiz based on styles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Me personally, yeah. Based on style-wise, you know, I think it would be more of a technical match if he was in there with Alexander. But, you know, to really, you know, get the crowd buzzed up to get them going, yeah, Ortiz would be the better pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It'll be
Oh yeah.
out.
And you know, and just to real quick.
Oh no.
Just real quick to go back to the other guy who showed love in the comment section, who said, you know, why are they not taking the lie detector test serious? You know what's actually interesting, and once again, if you guys haven't heard, Golovkin, he said that he's not buying the meat contamination. He's saying that Canelo cheated. He said his people, they had something to do with it. Canelo had something to do with it. He said they're using drugs. He said Oscar De La Hoya is dirty. And then he said, give them a lie detector test. Then we'll really find out. And what's interesting about him saying that is we know a lie detector test is not admissible in court, but this is not court.
That's true.
This is not court. So, you know, that would be, but once again, I mean, there's a lot of things that Golovkin said that actually, they asked some serious questions, man. I mean, Tom Loeffler said, okay, if it was meat contamination, then why don't you tell us where you ate your meat at when you were in Mexico and when?
Damn.
You know, so
oh man.
So man, yeah, they put and keep in mind, it benefits if you think about it from a financial standpoint. It benefits Tom Loeffler and Golovkin to not say things like this that make that much sense. You know what I mean? So if you hear them saying it, you know they don't have some kind of, you know, hidden motive, to just say this to throw Canelo under the bus. They've been chasing this Canelo fight for 2-3 years, you know. So, I mean, money. Can Canelo recover from? Can he come back from this situation?
I think he can come back from it, but he just has to fight a few other fights first,
and stay
then
clean.
Come back and meet. Yeah, because here it is. It's the moment of truth, and here it is. You failed 2 drug tests. You didn't fail 1 drug test. You failed 2. What was that? In January, the same month? Oh no,
February.
Man. February. I'm sorry, February. Same month.
3 days.
It's like,
Yeah.
It's like it's not good. It's just not a good look, and no one is going to believe you from that point on. You know, and then what's going to happen is, you know, it's flashback to, you remember when what's his name? Oh man, with the incident with the hand wraps. Yeah,
Margarito.
And Margarito. You know, and you know, now all of a sudden, it's not only Cotto, but people will start asking, well, what about this fight right here? What about this fight back then? Because not only was it with Cotto that the questions come in, it was obvious that was discovered in which fight? Hey, with Sugar Shane Mosley. So it's like, okay, well, now we're starting to answer. So now people will start to backtrack. We've seen this thing with, what was that, the Balco, with all of these athletes with Balco at one time. So it's like, you know, and it's like, it just keeps people going to start taking traces. Hey, Triple G said, people will say, hey, look, you know, yeah, he did look like this. You know, all of a sudden he didn't look as chunky like he once did. He looked super lean. Hey, maybe there's that's all it takes, man. And like you said, okay, yeah, the drug test, I mean, not drug test, but the truth test, polygraph, yeah, it's not admissible, but in the court of public opinion, that's all it needs.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go.
Well,
go ahead, Kurt.
Even with that, I believe John Jones took a lie detector test and he passed.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
He passed it.
I didn't know that. Wow. Okay.
That's an interesting point, and you would once again think that, you know, people will go out of their way to say, hey, y'all, let me show you I'm clean and I had nothing to do with this. You know, I want to bring up one of my favorite movies ever, and that is a movie called Let's Do It Again. There's a movie called Let's Do It Again with Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier. It's a comedy boxing movie. If you guys haven't watched this movie and you're a boxing fan, you will love this movie. You know what I mean? Basically, it has what's JJ's name? What's JJ's name again?
Yeah, I forgot his name. His name.
Dynamite.
But that movie.
Yeah.
That movie had me rolling.
Jimmy Walker.
Jimmy Walker, yeah.
Yeah, John Amos from, but okay, the reason why I'm bringing this movie up is because in that movie, Sidney Poitier, he knew how to hypnotize people. So he fixed the fight. And Jimmy Walker, who y'all know is a super skinny, dude who came bust a grape on Good Times, he's the boxer. He's the underdog. He's supposed to get killed in the fight. So Sidney Poitier, he hypnotizes this man to thinking he's Superman. All of a sudden, this man goes in there from being the weakest link to literally damn near being Superman, knocking people across the ring and everything. So he goes in there and he beats the champ. Why? Because Sidney Poitier hypnotized him, right? Now was that Jimmy Walker's fault? You know what I mean? Was it Bootsy Farnsworth? What was his name in the movie? I'm trying to remember what his name was in the movie. But anyway, Jimmy Walker is his real name. But was it Jimmy Walker's fault that he got hypnotized? So my point is, it does not matter if you cheat intentionally or if somebody else hypnotizes you. When somebody else injects you with something, you win in the fight with an advantage. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, this is why, once again, for Canelo, and I say unfortunately for Canelo, not unfortunately for us, unfortunately for Canelo, this is bad for Canelo, that if he wins this fight, like we've been saying, it's lose-lose for him. Check out that movie. Anyway, y'all,
his name is Bootney Farnsworth in the movie.
That's what
Bootney
it was.
Farnsworth.
Bootney Farnsworth. That is a good movie, y'all. If you guys like boxing, if you're a big boxing fan, you will love that movie. It's called Let's Do It Again. That's a funny, good-ass movie right there with Bill Cosby, Sidney Poitier, Jimmy Walker, John Amos. Yeah, man. With that being said, you know what? Let's go back to the phone lines, man. We winding down. Let's go to the phone lines. We got 832. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Y'all already know how I do, everybody. Y'all already know how I do,
Jimmy.
man. What's poppin', what's dropping, Dante and everybody else?
What's going on, Jimmy J. Smooth?
What's
going
happening,
on,
Jay?
man?
Oh, Jimmy J.
What's on your
Yes,
mind?
sir. Yes, sir. Money pal, man.
What's
But
happening?
anyway, I want to talk about Canelo Alvarez, as my boy Terrell Bushido Brown on Facebook would say. Canelo.
Oh boy!
It's looking real. It's looking real cunnish for Canelo right about now, man. Because you didn't fail not one but two drug tests, like Money Powell had just said, man. And like Tom Loeffler said, the brother need to come and the way he'll settle this score is he need to come out and say who he got this contaminated meat from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the business with our boy Canelo Alvarez?
Oh man, y'all hearing it from Jimmy J. Smooth once again, man. We need to know where he got the meat. You know what's funny though, Jimmy? What's real funny is you would think that Canelo, the type of person Canelo is, you would think he would be pissed off. Like, you mean to tell me somebody messing with my career and gave me some damn contaminated meat and they knew who I was and they didn't warn me and they knew I was training for this fight? You know, you would think that Canelo would react that way, right? But he didn't react that way.
Yeah.
Once again, you know, he hasn't said anything about, telling, saying, hey guys, I would recommend and, I would advise you not go to this spot right here. You not go to this spot. When you are a millionaire and you got people surrounding you, everybody is going to have your best interests. And you also would think that some people would have gotten fired. You know what I'm saying? You would think that some people would have gotten fired in Canelo's camp. You would think that they'd be like, oh, he's gone. This is the dude that told us to go to this restaurant. He told us to go to that restaurant. Oh, you fired. You trying to mess up my whole damn career. Look at the snowball effect when it comes to this situation right now. You feel me?
Yeah.
So good, good questions
it's
and good
messing up
points.
everybody's money right about now, man. And if this fight does not take place, which I'm assuming is going to take place, we're going to have to officially call HBO HBO right about now, because they're going to be the hoe to Showtime. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So it is what it is.
Hey, but Showtime is already destroying HBO though. I mean, it's not even a competition anymore. I mean, HBO is right now. HBO is looking like a thing of the past. And I'm not gonna tell you his name, but one of my boys who's a champion. He's a fighter. He's a champion right now, undefeated. He told me that not only well, basically, he told me, because he was telling me about his next fight, and he was possibly going to work with HBO, but he told me, between you and me, he said HBO, they about to wrap it up, they about to be out of the business. But this is just hearsay, so that's not official. But this is what this fighter is telling me. I mean, it's when you just look at the landscape on the network, it's not looking good. Top rank left.
But check this out.
Golden Boy only has Canelo. They need a lifeline. Go ahead, Money.
No, I was going to say there must be something to it, because even though that it may not be locked rock solid, you said 2 fights this year on HBO.
Yeah.
When was the last time HBO ever had 2 fights scheduled for the whole year?
Probably never. I'm
dialing back to the memory books, back in like 1978, 79. Oh no, they always had something going on.
Yeah.
And by you saying that earlier and then coming with this now, I mean, hey. The deductive reasoning is conclusive. I was like, that's kind of scary. But they're making a huge mistake by letting that go if that's their decision. They're making a huge mistake.
And you know what? And somebody brought up, I want to say shout out to Ryan Garcia. He's with Golden Boy. And my man said Golden Boy got Ryan Garcia. That's the future. Shout out to Ryan Garcia. He got a vicious knockout. Shout out to Dillian White, who also got a good win. We're going to have Dillian White on the show real soon. And we're going to have him talk about the heavyweight landscape and the Wilder, the Parker situation, Eddie Hearn. So shout out to Ryan Garcia and Dillian White. We're also going to have Ryan Garcia on the show as well. We're going to have Ryan Garcia on the show as well. So that's what it is, man. So anyway, man. And my man says shout out to Regis. Shout out to Regis Progray. Oh, you know what, man? Speaking of Progray, Money, let's talk about this this Mikey Garcia situation. Shout out to Mikey Garcia. We got to get you back on we got to get you on the show, Mikey. You and Robert Garcia. But I want to talk about this situation, man. Money. So your boy Progray. First of all, let everybody know how you know Regis Progray, Money.
I met Regis going to his gym while we were out there at the Charlo camp. Got a chance to meet him and to watch him for a while, for about not a while, but a 3-week period. And I'll tell you what, got to really watch him firsthand and how he operates. Very down-to-earth kind of guy, but he is hungry. And he is on a mission.
He certainly is.
Period.
He certainly is. And I'm going to tell you something right now, Money. Right now, Mikey Garcia is in a Golovkin situation where he went from not having a whole lot of options to now having a whole lot of options, because Mikey Garcia, he has your boy Robert Easter at 135. The interesting thing is Mikey Garcia wanted to fight Linares, and he said that he told me that a while ago. He thought the most difficult champion probably to beat was Robert Easter. He said because of his height, because of his reach. But then later on, I asked him after right before the Sergey Lipinets fight, and Mikey, he said, well, I no longer believe he's the most difficult after his performance against Fortuna. But I asked him, I said, so if that is the case, Mikey, don't you want to be the first person to take his O away from him? Don't you want to, unify the belts? And he was like, and he said, you know, I do want to unify the belts. I'm not sure if I'm going to fight him. And then Mikey said, if I don't fight him, it's not because I'm ducking him, but he said, I want to fight Linares first. He said, I'd rather go after Linares. Now, we all know Lomachenko has signed to fight Linares. And now, so now Robert Easter is there. Now, I know Robert Easter is going to fight his mandatory, but he's only fighting his mandatory because he couldn't get the Mikey Garcia fight. Robert Easter would gladly, you know, pay his mandatory step-aside money so he can get the bigger fish, of course, right? Now, Robert said he's willing to go to any, he'll fight anywhere. He said, we've never talked about money. And Mikey Garcia, he's kept his belt at 140 since he just beat Lipinets. And now, I believe it's the IBF belt. I believe it is. Now, Baranchek is going to be the opponent. They're going to order him to fight next. So I say all of this, money, is because what do you think makes more sense? Because Robert Easter, at first Mikey said that Robert Easter, he's not really that much of a big draw. He might be a big draw in Ohio, but his words, I want to quote him when I said it, he'd be like, but that's Ohio, bro. Right. He was like, this is what Mikey said. He said, but that's Ohio, bro. That's Ohio. That doesn't mean he's going to sell everywhere. So, money, you first and then Kirk, what is a bigger fight to you? Mikey Garcia versus Baranchek at 140 or him versus Robert Easter at 135?
Robert Easter at 135 is the biggest amount of money he's going to make of those two fighters that you mentioned. The draw would be in New York. People will, you know, like in that area, even where he's from, man, he's going to have massive amount of people coming up there to come watch him. So the fans are going to be there. So the money won't be a problem. That will be a big money fight. That'll be a surprisingly bigger fight than what he's thinking.
And before I jump on that, Kirk, your thoughts on that whole situation?
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely the biggest fight for him at the time. Or Robert Easter, he is a name. I haven't heard too much of the other guy, to be honest. And
no one has.
It'll get him. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the obvious.
Obviously. Okay. Yeah. Of course. I basically just asked you. Was 1 + 1 2? You know what I'm saying? And if you tell me it's not, we got a serious problem. I mean, look, man, once again, I mean, this is the whole thing. Fans have to be very, very careful because when you speak with emotion, it's easy to leave yourself wide open. You're throwing these sloppy ass punches. You're leaving yourself open for counters, trying to defend people with emotion instead of defending them with logic. Sometimes you got to bite the bullet and you just got to tell the truth because it's easier to remember the truth than the lie, guys. I mean,
you got that right.
It just is.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So the reason why I say all of that is because when you hear any fan, I don't care who the fighter is, when you say, "Oh, Robert Easter doesn't deserve to fight Mikey Garcia," have you ever heard of BoxRec.com? You can look at the record and you can see what fighters. If we going off of that barometer, then we can look at all of these fighters' opponents and tell me which fighters out of the 30, 40 plus opponents deserve to fight him more than Robert Easter did. You see how easy it is to break down?
You'll put them on the spot then, because when you start to, or like, for example, someone will say, well, I don't like something that Money did, and I think that he needs to fight. Okay, then who do you think he needs to fight? Please go to BoxRec.com right now, if you don't mind, and please send me the link of the fighter that you think, and please give me the reason why. You never get you never get an answer back. If you do get one, you just won the lotto.
All day, already.
Every day.
And you know what? Hey, and Jimmy, man, thanks for your call, fam. As always, man. I'm gonna try to get to a couple more before we wrap it up.
All right, Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
All right, guys.
Go ahead and let them know where they can follow you. Go ahead and let them know where they can follow you, Jimmy.
Man, they can follow me at the Jimmy J Smooth Network on YouTube, man, and you can also follow me on Instagram at jimmyjsmooth.com. You know what I'm saying? So hit me up, everybody, man, and appreciate the love, guys.
All day, fam.
Shut up, man. Take it easy. Have a good one.
Take care, man.
All right, guys.
All right.
Okay.
Good stuff as always. I'm gonna go ahead and try to take another call. The phone lines are still lit, man. We in overtime right now. We're about to, I know I'm probably got my boy Money out there, burning his meat on the grill out there. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta you out there in Alabama, right?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. Wait,
land.
Yeah, man. Wait until you check out the Dante's Cooking Nation show, man. Wait until you check that out, Money and Kirk. We about to get it in, man. We about to get it in. But anyway,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, let me shout out my girl, L Flowers, holding it down. She just showed love. She part of that DBN tank. She just said Canelo has a personal chef, and I don't think he got fired. As for Twin Charlo, he is cool with Tank's arch enemy, Tevin Farmer. So that's what my girl L Flowers had to say. Like I said, once again, now I've been told that Canelo Alvarez, his trainer, what's his name again? He has some meat markets out there, if I'm not mistaken. He's a butcher. He has a couple meat markets. This is what I'm told. I'm not trying to imply anything. I'm just telling you, what the reports are. So, and I tell you that because this is what L Flowers is, alluding to when she says Canelo has a personal chef out there. What she's implying is there's no reason for him to go to any restaurants or anything. He gets all of his meat from his personal chef. I guess that's actually, I just thought about it. What was you about to say, Kirk?
I think that was actually referenced during either one of those 24/7 shows or during the Showtime All Access show with him and Mayweather. It was referenced, I think, during one of those shows. So, she's on to something with that.
Okay.
Okay, well, that goes one further then. Why is the tainted meat in Mexico and not in the United States?
Oh.
How is this stuff getting into the system of these animals? Who's putting it there? Well, I mean, you have the Investigation Discovery Channel. I love how they go through things. I love how they break everything down. Okay? Someone has to be the fall guy. They know someone somewhere that's doing all of this stuff.
Someone has to be the fall guy.
Doesn't Canelo train in San Diego?
What's that?
Doesn't Canelo train in San Diego?
He trains in San Diego. I mean, he goes to Mexico on occasion. But that's a good point. L Flowers brought up a real good point, though. If you're a millionaire, I mean, think about it. Right now, most boxers, they have their own chef. Floyd Mayweather has his own chef. A lot of these fighters, when Danny Jacobs trained for Golovkin, he hired Algieri as his personal chef. So yeah, she just brought up an excellent point. I didn't even think about that, to be honest. Shout out to L Flowers because now you think about it, a millionaire ain't gonna be walking down the dirty streets of Mexico, buying lunch and dinner, training for a fight. You know what I mean? You're gonna most likely have a chef making you everything, especially when you're in training. Now, when you're just on vacation, if you're just on vacation or something like that, maybe, you know what I'm saying? But no, that's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. And my man, shout out once again to my man Kevin Stenhouse. Once again, man, donating. I appreciate you. He said, "What's a tougher fight for Garcia?" Okay, what is it? What's a tougher fight for Garcia, Easter or Regis? Man, you know what, Kevin? That's a real good question. Two complete different styles. You got one guy. Yeah, Kirk, go ahead. Give me your thoughts on that before I do.
Regis
is tougher. I'd agree with you.
His power, his power, and he can work the inside and he can slip. That's a nightmare for Garcia.
Yeah, he can do something that I told you Sergey Lipinets did not take advantage of, which is close the gap, because Sergey was standing right mid-range he was a sitting duck for the right hand all night. And the funny thing, as soon as he got close to Mikey Garcia, he smothered the right hand, which is what you would think he would want to do, nullify the right hand. But he didn't. But once again, he would pull out and he would get caught with that right hand over and over and over again. Regis, on the other hand, he's going to fight on the inside. He's going to make it tough. It's going to be a rugged, aggressive, performance by Regis. And he can do it with defense and boxing ability. He won't be sloppy with it. So, yeah, I would have to agree. But honestly, though, guys, I still believe that both Robert Easter and Regis, those are both extreme tough fights. Because, even though Robert is long rangey, and you would think the consensus is that he'll stand on the outside, and try to use his reach, he'll go in Diego Corrales style every once in a while, So that would be but once again, we're telling you what we think, but Mikey, by his own admission, before Regis was in the picture, Mikey said that he thought that your boy Robert Easter would possibly be the most difficult fight at 135 when it comes to the champions. So, yeah, that's what that is. Go ahead, Money.
No, I was going to say, personally, with two things. Number one, I really think Robert should move up to 140. His body, I was looking at his body, okay? Every once in a while I go back and look at his last fight. He did not have that physical definition to his body like he did a few years ago. And that tells me that he is draining himself and it's not really working for him anymore. Probably move on up to 140. All right, scenario number two. Let's say, forget the last fight. Okay, he probably didn't look all his best. Don't be fooled by that last fight. And that is something that you cannot fall off into.
Yeah.
Still assume that this guy is going to be ready for you if you two were to meet.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't really know yet how much Robert is struggling at the weight. Once again, I just want to make this clear. I want to say this to all the fans out there. Regardless if you guys think Mikey wins the fight, because I know there's a lot of people who believe Mikey will win the fight, and there's nothing wrong with saying that. A lot of people think Mikey will win the fight. He very well may win the fight. But we still have to see the Super Bowl. We can't cancel the Super Bowl because we already know who's going to win. You know what I'm saying? So once again, man, the man is calling out Mikey Garcia, and we have to be realistic about this. Like, I don't know, was it you? Oh, it was you, Money, that said this. That would surprisingly be and shockingly be a big fight. I think that would do great numbers because the fight, Mikey Garcia versus Robert Easter, first of all, the fight can be hosted anywhere. If the fight is in Brooklyn, it's big. If the fight is in LA, if it's in Texas, it's big. No matter where you put that fight. And realistically, regardless if people want to, acknowledge it or not, race sells. This is the reason why when Golovkin fought Willie Monroe.
Black and Hispanic? Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the truth of the matter is, that's almost a bigger rivalry. And I don't want to make it seem like it's personal, but but it is what it is. But it's almost bigger than Mexico versus Puerto Rico, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Because
that's Jermall Charlo.
What's that?
That's Jermall Charlo.
Yeah. He said, once again, man, I was there, dog. I was there at the I was there at the Golovkin Willie Monroe fight, and I'm telling you, when I tell you these crowds celebrated, they celebrated like they only had one fighter that went to the Olympics, and he won the gold medal. That's how they celebrated when Golovkin beat Willie Monroe. That's also how they celebrated when Golovkin beat Dominic Wade. So if he's in there with someone who is nowhere near on his level, like Golovkin was, can you imagine how they would all support Golovkin going up against the man on the coincidental list, a black fighter? Let's just be real. Oh, matter of fact, true story. I was interviewing Rudy Hernandez. For those of you guys who don't know who Rudy Hernandez is, he's a cut man, the brother of the late, great Gennaro Hernandez. and
Okay.
I was interviewing him, and this was after Golovkin had just beat, I don't remember which black fighter it was. I don't remember if it was Willie Monroe, but he beat somebody. And I BS you not, some Golovkin fan, he walked past the camera as I was interviewing Rudy Garcia, and he kind of celebrated and said, "Yeah, Canelo's gonna kick all those niggas' ass." That's what he said, right? This is what the dude said, and he wasn't black, obviously, and Rudy kind of chuckled. He was like, "See, they know how good he is. See, nobody's gonna beat Golovkin." And this is what Rudy had said, when the dude said this. So once again, my point is, the celebration was astronomical. You know what I'm saying? It was to another level. It was far more personal. It was more to root for, in a sense, if you know what I mean. It was more important that Golovkin got that win if he didn't get no other win. This is how it was perceived by a lot of the fans. So once again, this is why Mikey versus Robert would be huge. Race does sell.
Oh.
Go ahead.
It does. Okay, let's continue that on then.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Let's say that fight in between Golovkin and Canelo does not take place. Then why can it not take place, be it Triple G in September, Triple G, and then Charlo?
Makes sense.
Why can't that take place? If that can't happen, fine. We'll make that happen next year. Right now, you got this guy out there, number one. We know he's going to take care of business with Centino. Centino is not going to have anything for him. This is the perfect opportunity. Since that is probably going to be a busted play, this is a perfect opportunity. Hey, I'll tell you what, after I take care of business here in April, I'll see you in September or October. What do you think?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And you know what? You just reminded me, Dan Rafael actually reported that in the tweet, ESPN's Dan Rafael, I told you guys earlier that he said for those of you guys who think that, Nevada State Athletic Commission, they're just saying these things just to, be on the political, field and make it seem like they're doing something when they're really not. He said this fight is really in jeopardy and it may not go down. And he made his comparison. Something else he said is he believes that Golovkin should just go ahead and fight Danny Jacobs in a rematch if this fight gets canceled. And something that Abel Sanchez said to me, Golovkin's trainer, he said this a while ago. He said a long time ago, this is when Charlo started to close in on being the mandatory, and he was saying that Charlo didn't deserve a fight with Golovkin. But I said, what about Danny Jacobs? And he said, well, if anybody deserves a fight with Golovkin, it would be Danny Jacobs. That's what he said. He said he deserves a rematch. So that fight makes all the sense in the world, Money. You're absolutely right. But if I got to put my money on it, I don't see it happening. I don't see. I mean, HBO might try to go ahead and cash out because HBO is smart. They see, they see the end coming. They see eventually. They know that HBO's been around long enough, to look at the stats. To look at the stats, and and not only that, but they seen the first fight. They know it's a very good chance that Golovkin could end up losing, especially after them already seeing Sergey Kovalev lose to Andre Ward, and other fighters that they personally rooted for, end up losing. When their own horse, didn't win, they have a lot of experience. Floyd Mayweather, for example. You can imagine how many.
You know who knows that more than HBO?
Who?
Abel Sanchez. He knows.
Absolutely. I mean, he done went on. He done went on record to say it. Go ahead. You want to say something else on that?
Well, just look at Golovkin's history. I mean, I don't want to discredit him, but it's not like he has like a murderer's row of opponents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But to go even further though, Kirk, I've interviewed Abel tons of times, as we all know, and before Jermall moved up to 160, I still have the interviews where Abel Sanchez was he was praising Charlo, the Charlo brothers. He was saying there's no way, all that talent at 154, ain't no way Canelo gonna beat all of those guys. He said the Charlo brothers, Andrade, he said that. He said that in my interview. He said ain't no way he's gonna beat all those guys. You know, all that talent, you know, et cetera, they're gonna pose so many problems for him. Now all of a sudden, Charlo he's on Golovkin's ass as a mandatory. Now all of a sudden, he ain't nobody. Who did he fight? He don't deserve it. Since when does a mandatory not deserve to fight? Isn't that the whole purpose of being a mandatory? So you don't have to prove your case or anything like that. That's the whole purpose of being a number one mandatory. You know what I'm saying? You don't need no lawyer or nobody to fight for you. You know, the position speaks for itself. You know, so yeah, man, that's what it is. But anyway,
but you know,
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, Dante. I'm sorry.
No, you good. Go ahead, Money.
That goes right over to the other part when it comes to Dylan White. Last night when he was talking about when he won, first thing out of his mouth, hey, Wilder, it's you and me now. Mm-hmm. Eddie Hearn right behind that. Hey, I think that's a great idea. I said, here we go. The block of all blocks.
The block, the roadblocks continue, huh?
Yeah, and I'm not knocking Dylan White, but then I thought about it for a moment. After just only a couple of seconds, I said, you know something? If I was Deontay Wilder, take that fight, go ahead, get the win, and pick up an extra paycheck along the way. Mm-hmm. Dylan White looked good against his opponent last night, but his opponent was not Wilder. It was a guy who was tailor-made
Marcus
for him.
Brown, right? But to go even further, remember when Eddie Hearn first presented the idea that Wilder fight Dylan White? Right. Deontay Wilder, he responded by saying, "I will fight him as long as you put Anthony Joshua on a contract." And then Eddie Hearn and them, they said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. So what's the whole purpose of saying, you know, of your arch enemy and your opposition, them requesting who you should fight next when they don't promote you or anything, and you get nothing out of it. They just saying, I just want to see it. It's no guarantee you're going to get our guy, but hey, we just want to see it. We just want to see
most strange.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and once again, this is why I want to get Dylan White on the show, because I want him to talk about the situation. I really do. So we'll get Dylan White on the show and get his take, because this has nothing to do with Dylan White. You can't blame Dylan. No, you can't blame White. You can't blame White for wanting to fight the best. It's just the fact that we know that even if White is going to get that shot at Wilder, we know that this Joshua versus Wilder fight is long overdue. So that should be taken care of first. And then all that other stuff could be, taken care of afterwards. That right there is the problem. You know what I mean? So
I got random people on the streets asking me about just talking about general boxing. They'll ask me my opinion. What do you think about Wilder and Joshua? Mm-hmm. These are casual pieces talking about Wilder and Joshua. The fight needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Oh no! It's the biggest. It's the biggest fight in boxing right now. It is the biggest fight in boxing right now, and I think even White would agree. That Joshua Wilder is a bigger fight right now than Wilder versus White or Wilder versus anyone else. That's the biggest fight that can be made right now. It's the biggest fight in all of boxing. I'm going to go ahead and take another call. We're about to get up out of here, y'all. But I'm going to take one more. We got 661. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man? Turn your background down, because I can hear myself. I can hear myself in your background, so it's echoing.
What's up, Dante?
What's going on, Jorge? How you doing, man? What's on your mind,
Nothing,
man?
Much ups to you guys, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Your forum. I appreciate you guys giving the folks, a time to share their thoughts and stuff. I've been listening to you guys for a good while, maybe a year now.
Oh, nice, nice. That's what's up, man. Good looking, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. There was a few things that I wanted to address. I mean, a lot has been said already, and I was trying to keep up with everything. Well, I guess I can start with the whole Charlo addressing, your man Tank and Jacobs. I think that was good for boxing as a whole. I mean, for the promoting. I understand everything that you guys were talking about, the streets and, street talks and how it can escalate to unnecessary actions or whatever. I mean, everybody pretty much, everybody wants to talk a big game or whatever. And at the end of the day, I mean, whether it be East Coast talk, West Coast talk, everybody gets about it. But I mean, I appreciate Charlo as an individual because, to be honest with you, man, Charlo coming from Texas and being on the West Coast, he's more to me. It seems like he's not really worried about so much, the race. I appreciate him, speaking out, whether it be black or Mexican fighter or any other nationality. I appreciate him speaking out and not just really keeping it. He keeps it 100. And I appreciated that from him because he's not really making it. He's taking on all comers and he's speaking what his mind and what he thinks, and doesn't really matter what nationality you are. He's like Broner says, anybody can get it, right? So that's more so his mentality. So he's not really worried about who he what nationality he is. I mean, he'll take on black, Mexican, Puerto Rican, and any nationality. So that was cool on his part, man. I can see that he's with it, man. Whether it be on the streets or in the boxing ring, he spoke his mind and he said his piece. And I mean, I really didn't hear anything that Tank had to say derogatory towards him. But I mean, obviously he said something that bothered him, so he was feeling some kind of way. So he voiced his opinion. He said, "You know what?"
Well, I mean, he said the boy could barely speak. I mean, he could barely speak, and I mean, he said a couple things. He said a couple things, but go ahead though. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so on that end, man, I didn't see it as being a bad thing. Although we don't ever want to see anything escalate to something that's not necessary. But I mean, I appreciate that. Another thing too that I wanted to address on the whole Canelo situation, as far as sometimes you gotta understand, man. I mean, I know as a boxing fan, you've always had the rivalry of black, Mexican, Puerto Rican, as far as just the majority of the fans, they come from that nationality. But you got to understand one thing, man. When Canelo's talking about the whole meat and the whole meat and stuff, and then I heard you and Money saying that well, shoot, I need to get me on some Clenbuterol also, so I can lose whatever it is, bulk up or whatever. But in a sense, I can see your point, but at the same time, I mean, you got there's been studies that have shown how yes, some of the meat out there, I will say, but they say 38% of the meat out there is contaminated. But I mean, you can't really take that verbatim because you don't see every Mexican out there, in shape, bulked up.
Right, that's understood. I mean,
most Mexicans out there, they're fat, short, and stubby.
So what you're saying? not to cut you off, but what you basically saying is we got to give Canelo the benefit of the doubt because it might actually be meat contamination and he didn't know about it. Is that what you're saying?
It could be one or the other. The truth is it can't be proven. I mean, even and I heard you guys talking about the lie detector. The lie detector, I mean, it's not permissible in court because it's not really 100% accurate. I mean, you can't really trust a lie detector.
But it makes. the one thing it will do is it'll make fans more. It'll make fans believe him a little bit more if he were to pass it. But forget it. But we don't even have to go with the lie detector test. How about him just telling people where he ate the meat, and once again, like my girl El Flora said, he has his own chef. So I mean, if you think you came across some contaminated meat, why not let people know that this is where I ate the meat, and why not do that?
Yeah, and you know what? And I hear you. A lot of times, and you know what? That's actually what I think is going on right now. They're just not letting it all. You know, they're not releasing everything until they know.
Well, that you may be right about. There's no telling what's going on right now behind closed doors. That's true. We don't know that yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying, and Money Pal had said something about that. As far as getting it out there and trying question him, doing the investigation, and I think that's what they're working on right now. Okay. A lot of times, we get the news. We didn't hear about the Clenbuterol situation until after that press conference. I don't know if you guys watched it or not, but that press conference that they had, it wasn't a press conference, but it was actually they didn't do the all the state tours.
I don't mean to cut you off because we're running out of time, but I want to ask you. So once again, let's just say he didn't know. Let's say he didn't know and he just consumed it. Let's say somebody forced him to eat it. Let's just say somebody forced him. Hypothetically, let's say somebody forced him to eat dirty meat. How does that change the situation, the perception that Canelo Alvarez is going into the fight with a drug that coincidentally gives you an advantage in training?
That's one thing that I'm in agreement with you guys.
Well, that's the only thing. But that's the only thing. But that's the only thing we've been talking about, though. So you agree with everything, because that's all we've been saying. Is it doesn't matter. That's all I've been saying. Is that it doesn't matter if it was intentional. It doesn't matter if he was asleep and somebody injected him just to make him look bad. None of that matters. The fact is, he's going into a fight with an advantage in training. He doesn't have to worry about losing muscle when he trains. He can preserve his muscle while burning fat. Once again, real quick, I'll just say this. Think about this. If Danny Jacobs were to beat Gennady Golovkin, let's just be realistic, and then we found out that he had Clenbuterol, traces of Clenbuterol, in his system, and he tested positive twice before the fight. What do you think? What do you think the backlash would be? How he would be treated after the fact if people knew that? Do you really think people would say, "Hey guys, well you got to realize it was meat that he ate. He didn't know that he had that advantage. He didn't know he had this advantage to go in there and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." If you benefit from it, does it really matter if it was done intentionally or not? It does it really change anything? Does it change Golovkin's mind or what he thinks? Does it change what the Nevada State Athletic Commission or anyone? Does it change any of their opinions?
Yeah, no, and that's why I have to agree with what you're saying, is that the fight overall is tainted already. I mean,
extremely.
It's already got a dark cloud on it. So regardless of whether Canelo wins or not, it's gonna have that asterisk on it, and I understand that. So no, that's why I say I agree with you guys on that end. And I mean, if the fight gets canceled, it's gonna suck because, I mean, aside from what you guys think, as far as what you guys have been talking about, that you guys don't really care to watch the fight. There's a lot of fans that do want to watch the fight.
Oh no! I never said that. We never said that. I never said that. I said, this is what I said. Understand this, George. What I said is, regardless if Canelo knocks out Golovkin, he's not going to get the credit for it. He's not going to get full credit for it because this is all people are going to be talking about. What I said was, if I was Canelo, I'm talking about Canelo personally, not from the standpoint of a fan. I'm saying if I was Canelo, I would personally pull out of that fight because I don't want credit to be taken away from me if I knock out Golovkin. Yeah. My biggest win and it happened to be a win where I tested positive for a banned substance. You feel me?
Yeah.
So no, I would love
I hear you.
I would love to see the fight, but once again, if I'm Canelo is in a bad situation, man. That's all there's to it.
Yep.
He's in a bad situation, and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Yeah, you're right. And one last thing, man. You guys do mention that he tested twice.
Yes.
He tested 2 different times, and he failed both times. But you got to understand, the first time that he tested, it was at a slightly higher. It was at they tested him, and it was slightly higher than the second time. The reason why they did that was, to make sure that their first test wasn't a dud, and so they went ahead and they tested him again, and it was accurate. He did test positive, although it was a picogram. It measured in picograms, so it wasn't a whole lot.
But George, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
No, you can't water it down, but with time it does.
Hold on, George.
Okay.
Everything you saying right now, because remember, it's not. You got to remember, bro. It's not just me reporting this stuff, and it's not just me saying, the facts are the facts. Clenbuterol, we know what it does. You preserve muscle while burning fat. Do you think that what you're saying right now is going to make Golovkin feel more comfortable? Golovkin is the one fighting him. If Golovkin were to listen to everything you just said to me right now, if you were to tell him, but Golovkin, you got to understand, I know he tested positive the first time, and then he tested positive again, but it was this and it was that. And do you think that's going to make Golovkin say, okay, you know what, now since you put it that way, I feel a lot more comfortable going into the ring with this guy, and I don't feel he's cheating, he's doing anything like that. Do you feel that what you're saying right now would change Golovkin's opinion on the matter?
No, but I mean, he voiced it himself. He said he's going to fight him either way.
But that's a different. I know, but that's a different story, though. We're not asking how tough he is. We're not asking how bad he wants to fight. We're asking if he thinks that Canelo is cheating. That's what we're talking about.
I know. Yeah, no, I think Golovkin is looking for any and like any other fighter. I mean, yeah, of course. No, you're right. And any other fighter is going to use that to their advantage. And an argument, they're gonna find the weakest link and try to use that to their advantage. Oh well, the reason why I lost was because of course he was testing.
So you don't believe Golovkin is genuine. You don't believe he's genuine when he says that I believe that Canelo is cheating. You think he's doing this just for an advantage? You don't believe that he's upset about this?
No, to be honest with you, I think that Golovkin is being coached. I think that he's a puppet.
So you don't believe?
By a puppet master.
Okay.
And, I think that a lot of the reason why he even spoke up later was because after all the time, because he didn't say that initially. Now remember, initially he didn't. He was saying, well, it could have been contaminated meat. We're gonna find out either way. The fight's on.
George, hold on, George, because once again, we short for time. I'm going to let you speak, but so you telling me if you was in Golovkin's shoes and you found out your opponent tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug, you telling me you would have no problem with it? You wouldn't say any of the things that Golovkin is saying? What would you say if you were in that situation?
And that's the main reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. Look, if it was me, and I was about to fight somebody, and I knew that they were on a PED, I wouldn't fight them at all. I would say, you know what? Nope, that's it. Next, who's next? Because the fight's already tainted. But that's not what he's saying.
But that's two different things, though. That's two different arguments.
Well, yeah.
But hold on. But that's a different argument because once again, if we're talking about how tough Golovkin is versus what he thinks about someone failing a test, those are two different things right there. Deontay Wilder, he still fought Luis Ortiz after Luis Ortiz was suspended for taking PEDs. Yeah. He wanted to fight him so bad. That doesn't exonerate Ortiz from what he did before. But hold on, somebody wants to respond to you because I'm seeing in the comment section. Hold on one second. Reggie just called in. Reggie, go ahead. What's going on, man? What's on your mind, man?
Yeah, hey, what's up, nation? What's happening? Yeah, with the caller, man, the excuses
He's still
for what Canelo has been guilty of, it makes no sense. There's no excuse for what actions what resulted in this test. You cannot defend any of that. A cheat is a cheat, and it cannot be allowed in any professional sports. And we've been seeing this over. You go across the land of all sports. We see any of these athletes who get in trouble for these tainted for not even tainted tests.
Just spelling positive, just testing positive, period.
Yeah, testing positive, period. They always come up with these same excuses.
Well, not always. Let me correct you on that one.
All the time. None of them will admit to these things. And the reasoning why it makes more sense with Canelo doing this type of thing in boxing is because his competition has stepped up for him. He has found himself in more difficult fights. And even with the fights that he's been given these judgments on, there's a lot of controversy between it. So to separate himself, it makes all the sense for him to be doing this. And then here there's a ton of evidence being popped up on YouTube where people are pointing out to evidence related to him utilizing these medical drugs. So there's no excuse for it. A cheat is a cheat.
Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
I hear you. You still on, George? Go ahead.
Yes, we.
Okay. Yeah. No. And my argument is not to excuse the cheat. My argument is, and you said always, but no, that's not the case. They don't always suspend them, or has a fight never always been suspended because of?
Did you say that, Reggie? Did you say they always suspend him?
No, I didn't say that.
That's not what he said, George.
He didn't say always.
No,
so your argument is your argument for there being different variables that may explain, what may have popped up in the test, and are you more so just like you want to wait till you hear everything, like all the details, the explanation from the camp, go through the hearing and whatnot before you make your judgment on the situation? Is that where you're coming from?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Everything's got to be taken on a case-to-case basis, especially because of the substance. I mean, I know that you guys call it a steroid, but in all actuality,
I never called it a steroid, bro. You got to stop. You got to stop. I never called it a steroid.
In general, most of the YouTube posts were saying, that, and people call,
but you can't call us. You can't call us up and bunch us in with what someone else said. You gotta keep it within the conversation we having right now. You know what I mean? Because that just because if I start throwing that at you, go ahead.
I've been listening to you, Dante. I've been listening to you, and I heard you. Sometimes you refer to saying that clenbuterol is used to increase muscle mass, but it's not really increased to you.
I'll put the link up. I'll put the link up. I'll put the link up. While you're saying that, I'll put the link up right now because there are studies that say it increases muscle mass while burning fat. Regardless if you say it increases muscle mass or it preserves muscle. Hold on, guys.
It's never been proven on humans, but on animals, what it does is it says because I know because my family raises livestock in Mexico, so I will. They give them clenbuterol so that the meat can be shut down for that. It can be. Well, I mean, because they do the same thing out here in the United States, but not that. That's not shut down for that.
Where are they getting the clenbuterol from? You see, that goes back to what I was saying.
You gonna get Canelo. Man, you gonna mess around and get Canelo in more trouble. You keep talking, man.
Anybody that has, I mean, it's like where does the bombs come from that the Palestinians make? Well, anybody can get the product. So I'm saying anybody can mix up a concoction. If you know clenbuterol, when you take clenbuterol, you never really know because it's not really measured. So you never really know how much of a certain ingredient you're taking. So
okay, we kind of getting away.
It's more complicated than we actually really know.
But you had stated earlier, which nullifies a lot. You said if that was you would not go through with it.
Yeah, you wouldn't take the fight.
Triple G is saying right now. He has issues with that. So really, you're siding with Triple G, even though you stated what you stated.
And you say you agree with what you.
I'm saying if Golovkin really honestly believes what he's talking about and all the stuff that he's saying, then he should just pull out of the fight.
What does he not believe? George. Hold on, George.
It's like a smoke screen, basically.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna let you say that. I'm gonna let you say that again, Kirk. But I want George. What is it he doesn't believe? You said if he believes that he cheated. What is it Golovkin doesn't believe?
If Golovkin honestly believes everything that he's saying as far as
but you said, but what does he what does he not believe though? Because you're saying if he believes, that means you're implying it's something he doesn't believe deep down. What does he not believe deep down, in your opinion?
It's not so much that he doesn't believe. It's just not. It's not a point that's made. That he doesn't really believe that Canelo is on steroids. Okay, because
we never said he was on steroids. We never said.
No, but Golovkin believes it.
Golovkin believes he's using drugs. Golovkin believes he's cheating and using drugs. Steroids is a different drug.
He said he believes he's injecting because of the pictures that he brought out. He said that doctor sent him pictures and then he even pointed out the pictures of a shot on his shoulder and a shot on his belly.
So what do you think? So what do you think?
What I'm saying is that if you really believe that, then why is he still saying that he's going to fight him?
So George, so what do you think? How do you think this should look? I mean, like, how do you think Canelo should be perceived in this situation?
Okay, so from what I'm seeing, as a boxing fan, is okay. He tested positive for 2 tests in early February or late February, and then the other 2 tests that he took, he was negative. So they should give him an option. Okay, do you want to fight? Yes, okay, no. Or if you want to fight, you're going to have to sign these waivers because you already knowingly know that you're going to be fighting a fighter that tested for Clenbuterol the first 2 tests. That should be it. But for him to start accusing and start telling the whole public that, he believes he's a cheat. Not only him, but then he starts bringing up De La Hoya as a cheat, and he's dirty also. It's just like he's doing way too much.
So you don't believe Golovkin should have called him a cheat? You don't believe Golovkin should have said that he's using drugs?
For PR, okay, as far as for PR moves, he should have kept his mouth quiet because I think that's the reason why HBO has to have, or not only HBO, but the commission has to have.
That might be.
It might be. So now, we're not going to get sued because, Canelo, knocks out Golovkin, and then Golovkin has some kind of permanent damage, and he's claiming permanent damage.
Okay. And like I said, because once again, we winding down. But what exactly? And don't tell me what other people said. What exactly have we said? Because you said at the beginning you pretty much agree with a lot of what we're saying. What exactly are you disagreeing with? Because I don't understand what you're disagreeing with.
No. It's not so much that I'm disagreeing. It's just I'm disagreeing at certain points.
With what? With what in particular? What in particular? What did we say in particular you disagree with?
There's several points, but one of them is as far as you guys saying that Clenbuterol does what it does. It really doesn't.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna read. Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and read. I'm gonna go ahead and read this. Hold on for one quick second. Let me see where it is right here. Hold on. I'm gonna read this real quick. Hold on. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna read this real quick. I don't want to mute you guys, but I want to read this real quick. Okay, Clenbuterol. It increases muscle mass by increasing protein synthesis. One of the advantages of Clenbuterol is that it works wonderfully to reduce the fat, especially in the abdominal and visceral fat, which is normally very hard to achieve otherwise. Visceral is what I meant to say, but anyway, So that's a study right there. You see? So everything I'm telling you is an actual fact. So who are you disagreeing with? You disagreeing with the doctors, the studies?
No. Well, see, and that's another thing. You're reading off that study, but there's other
Should I
studies
believe
that show
you?
that it hasn't been.
Okay.
It hasn't been proven. It hasn't been proven in humans.
Tell me what
All of
Clenbuterol
our
does. Tell me what Clenbuterol does. Tell me what it does.
What Clenbuterol? Okay, mainly what Clenbuterol is used for is it was originally fabricated to treat bronchitis and those that.
No, tell me what the benefit. So you don't tell.
They found that it was.
Well, but you got to get to the point though. But George,
we're able to cut weight.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's mainly used as a weight cutter. It's like a fat burner. It's what it is.
But listen,
you're
George.
Right, it does sustain the liquids in the muscles. That's what
While
it does.
preserving. George, you would agree. George, you would agree that it helps you preserve muscle. You would at least agree with that, right? It's like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been found to preserve muscle while burning fat. Yes,
And
totally.
that is the advantage right there, because anyone knows that when you're not using the right supplements, and you over here you're losing a whole lot of weight, you're going to burn muscle when you burn fat. There's a supplement that I use. There's a supplement I use. It's called glutamine. For everybody that bodybuilds, you know what glutamine is. You know your bodies are made up. 70% of your muscles are made up of glutamine. So what happens is when you work out, when you tax your body and you have an extreme hard workout, you're burning a lot of the glutamine in your muscles. Therefore, you're burning muscle and you're burning fat. So you take the glutamine to preserve the muscle. But Clenbuterol is doing that on a whole nother level. See, that's the thing. So if Golovkin has to burn weight without Clenbuterol, that means he risks losing more muscle. So while he's losing muscle, Canelo is preserving muscle. So I mean, you would say that's a little bit of an advantage for Canelo, right?
That's totally an advantage, and that's why it's banned. And that's why.
So what are we disagreeing with?
That goes into what I'm saying is that I believe that because nobody can say 100% sure whether a lie detector or not that he took his purpose, the reason why it showed up in his urine.
But George, you agree with everything I said. Everything I said just made sense though, right?
Yeah, no, and what it is you have to keep hydrated. That's why they tell you drink a lot of water. But what Clenbuterol is, it's like a hybrid of type of hydration. So it allows you to retain the hydration in your muscles.
So you think? Does he have an advantage, George? Does he have an advantage in training over Golovkin? There it is. There it is. So we agree with everything, George. We agree with everything. Hey, but George, I gotta go. But seriously, bro, I really appreciate you calling in. I appreciate you saying you've been watching for a year, bro. Call in anytime. I appreciate you calling in. Okay, man.
Hey, you too, man. Thanks, Money Pal, and everybody else on the podium. I appreciate you guys, what you're doing, man. I watch you guys all the time. And keep up the good work, brother.
Thank you, George. I appreciate it. Good stuff. Good conversation, man. Good conversation. Hey, guys, I know I got you guys up late. We're going to get out of here, but I got to get my man Alonzo from Box Fan Expo on the show because he just called in. But he don't show me no kind of respect because he just call in when he want to call in, because he all big time with the Box Fan Expo. Hey, turn your YouTube, turn the live show down in the background. What's going on, Alonzo?
We're ready to go, baby.
Box Fan Expo. My man, this running the Box Fan Expo I've been telling you guys about. What's going on, Alonzo?
I'm doing great. How's everything on the show? I see this is a big debated argument here over all this Canelo stuff going on. But at the end of the day,
they trying to mess up your event, Alonzo. They trying to mess up your event.
Bottom line. The bottom line is the Nevada State Commission and everybody in boxing knows that there's certain drugs that are not permitted into the sport, and that's it. Yeah, everybody has to follow the rules.
That is simple. Man, you could have saved us a whole 50 minutes, Alonzo. Why you didn't jump on the line earlier?
Listen, it is what it is. That's why we do the expo, because we just come straight to what we need to do and just get out. That's it. It is what it is. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, those are two great fighters. I don't believe they don't need anything in their system. And I just find that regardless of what people's opinion, at the end of the day, it is what it is. The Nevada State Commission has rules. Everybody has to follow the rules. And if it was a mistake, then they're going to do their investigation, and they're going to say it's a mistake. And if it's not a mistake, they're going to find out that it's not a mistake. So everybody has to just relax. Let's the chips fall into place, and we're going to find out what's going to happen in a few weeks from now.
We're going to find out. For those of you guys.
Meanwhile, regardless of what happens in a few weeks from now, we have the greatest show, actually, maybe bigger than the Canelo, for sure, bigger than the Canelo and the Triple G fight. And I'm not being conceited here, but the expo is huge, because at the end of the day, we're all about the boxing fans, and this is what a lot of people come to Vegas to see the fighters. But guess what? They're going to be able to see them face to face on May 5th. Regardless, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo weekend, we don't stand by the Nevada State Commission. We don't have to do nothing. All we have to do is just
don't get suspended.
Have a good time.
Don't get suspended by Nevada before the fight start, though, Alonzo.
There's no way we're gonna be suspended. That's for sure. So we're about the fans, and the fans for us are the most important thing in boxing. And we got a great lineup already. That's going to be already appearing. Some of the guys I can tell you at the Box Fan Expo is going to be none other than the great Eric Morales, El Terrible, who's going to be at the Box Fan Expo at his own booth signing autographs. Then we got Fernando Vargas. We got Jose Benavidez with his brother, the WBC super middleweight champion, David Benavidez, who confirmed a few days ago. Then we move on to Zab Judah, 6-time world champion Zab Judah, Super Z in the house. And then we got none other than Let's Go Champ. Shannon Briggs.
The Cannon?
He's going to be at the expo screaming, taking on a fight with everybody who's anybody. So watch out, the fans, because Shannon Briggs is going to come straight at your face. You know the champ is all over. And we got also 2-time world champion Badu Jack, who's going to be at his booth, because he's promoting his new line of nutrition, the Ripper Nutrition. And that's a great product for the most advanced formulas. It's all about getting your vitamins in and your pre-workout and your workout. So he's promoting this ahead of his fight with Adonis Superman Stevenson on May 19th in Montreal, should I say, our hometown. And we got none other, a guy who just reappeared from nowhere. He's got this great podcast right now going on. The former world champion, lineal world champion, the middleweight champion, Kelly Pavlik, the Ghost. So he's going to be at the expo as well. And we got more and more fighters coming up. Tomorrow we're about to announce, here I'm giving you a little exclusive, we're going to be announcing Jesse Vargas. He's got his own company. Also, he's going to promote his own products. He's got a tequila brand that he's going to be promoting before his fight with Adrian, the Problem Broner, in Brooklyn. So, and then this week we're announcing some other legends. Maybe by next Sunday, I think we're going to come in on every Sunday. We're going to be announcing more and more fighters. And I got a real treat for all the boxing fans. We're going to have probably about 10 to 12 legends. The Box Fan Expo. The reason we don't announce them right now is because we want to keep you guys. thinking who's going to be the next guy. So every week, every couple of weeks, we just keep announcing 2 or 3 fighters a week. And by the time May 5th comes around, you guys are all going to forget about the Canelo Triple G fight. You're going to say, you know what, we don't need the Triple G fight. We're coming to the Expo, and you're going to have an amazing time. So whether the fight happens or not, the fans are going to be treated to an amazing experience, fight fan experience.
There it is.
And I think I said it all. I think maybe you got some questions, but I think I said it all.
No, you pretty much said it all, and like I said, man, you called towards the end of the show, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But I got the graphic on the screen right now. So like I said, once again, you guys go to Box Fan Expo. Go ahead and cop your tickets. But let them know though, Alonzo. I mean, there's no other event like this in boxing right now, right? I mean, this is the first. This is the first of its kind.
There's definitely no other event. There's definitely no other event in boxing like this. Where can you meet 30, 40, 50 champions all under one roof? And not only that, you also get to meet all these different companies. From last year, we had the WBC with all their champions. Some of the champions came to the WBC booth. We had over 3,000 fans coming out. We had the WBA with Marcos Maidana. We had Mayweather Promotions. Yes, people, you did miss Floyd Mayweather. He came towards the end of the show. Yeah. In the last part of the show, you guys missed Floyd Money Mayweather at the show, at the Expo. We had Sean Porter. We had... Actually, Dante was right there for doing his own podcast. He interviewed some of the fighters at the Expo last year.
Absolutely. Can't wait to...
Who did you meet, Dante, last year? Who did you meet?
I met everybody, man. From Tommy to Hitman Hearns, all the heavyweights. Who was it? It was Riddick Bowe, Ray Mercer, Sergio Martinez.
No, that was the first year, actually.
Was that the first year? Because Mike Tyson, I remember Mike Tyson was there the first year, right? Was that Mike Tyson was there
right,
the first year, right?
We had Mike Tyson, we had Riddick Bowe, Roy Jones. The second year, we had all these different fighters from Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia. So every year, we just keep, bringing in more and more. Last year, we also had Daniel Jacobs, who's fighting. And speaking of Daniel Jacobs, yes, I know you... You and I spoke a little bit about this, Dante. I mean, there might be an opportunity for him to jump on board if this fight doesn't happen with Canelo and Triple G. That's something that can actually happen.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I don't know what the fans are. I don't know what your listeners think, but if this fight doesn't happen with Canelo and Triple G,
you got the Box Fan Expo to go to.
We all hope that it's gonna happen. We all hope that it's gonna happen, because it's going to be a great fight. But if this fight doesn't happen, who do you think might have a chance to go on May 5th? And you think Golovkin is going to still fight on May 5th? According to his promoter,
I think it's still going to happen. I mean, one of my panelists, my man Money Pal, he disagrees. He thinks that it's not going to happen. He said when's the last time HBO suspended, promotion for the fight? As you already know, Alonzo,
right?
The ESPN and Dan Raphael, I should say, he reported that HBO, they suspended program and promotion for the fight. So that's a big deal right there. That's obviously taking money out of HBO's pocket, because they can't promote the fight for another 15, 16 days. When Nevada State Athletic Commission makes up their mind on if Canelo will remain undefeated.
So most of your listeners think it's going to be scrapped completely, the fight?
No, the majority of people think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. It's just hard for me to believe that everyone is going to take a pay cut. But one of the callers, he made an interesting point. One thing he did say that kind of raised an eyebrow when it comes to me is he said, we really don't know what they discussing right now behind closed doors. For all we know, they could know a whole lot more, and it could be a lot worse than it is, or maybe not. So I'm just saying, man. But if I was forced to bet, I'm picking that. I'm betting the fight goes. It comes to fruition. It still happens, May 5th, man. So
okay. I mean, boxing. Boxing is is a special sport. It's the only sport in the world that in less than 2-3 weeks, anything can just switch. Everything can be turned. Everything can have, there's a million ways. Contracts are sometimes signed at the last day in boxing. So that's the only sport where anything can happen. But one thing that will happen is the Box Fan Expo, where
there it is.
That's guaranteed. There you go. And we're actually working on possibly adding another layer to this year and having the best amateur fighters in the country to attend an amateur show for the first. We're going to make it 8 to 10 bouts, a very short and sweet show, a couple of hours, where the fans can actually enjoy some of the top fighters in the country, amateur.
So that's
USA amateur boxing. So that's something we're working on. We're hoping to announce that eventually. This is breaking news. A lot of people don't know, but I'm doing it on Dante's Boxing Nation because that's the only station
all day
that you should be listening to.
Yeah, you right on point with the instrumental in the background. Boy, I like you flowing like that. All right, keep going. Yeah. But
I just want to say that this year we're going to be announcing the more companies that are going to bring many fighters with them as well. And I really believe, regardless what happens, whether the Canelo moves on, and I think we might have maybe some news this week, maybe earlier than the April 10th date. But regardless of what happens, according to what we read on Dan Raphael's Twitter account and some people that he spoke to, they're saying whatever happens on May 5th, Golovkin will be fighting in Vegas.
He'll be fighting in Vegas.
So the whole question is,
who does he fight?
If he's fighting in Vegas, well, I mean, if you go by logic, he wrote, I'm only stating what Dan Raphael said on ESPN Twitter. On Dan Raphael's Twitter account, he says that the only logical solution would be actually to have Danny Jacobs bump up from 1 week, because he is in training. He is fighting on April 28th, which will be logical for a guy like Daniel Jacobs, especially when the first fight with Golovkin was such a close fight, and
it
some
makes
people
all
even
the sense
thought
in the
that
world.
Daniel Jacobs won the fight. So I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure now that with Matchroom Boxing, with Eddie Hearn signing Daniel Jacobs, maybe it makes it a little bit easier for all the parties involved to get that fight going. And I'm sure Daniel Jacobs would love to get that big money payday to fight Golovkin.
Hey, Alonzo,
he would make actually more money.
Alonzo, I'm just telling you, that is a great fight. That makes all the sense in the world. But it's just no way. I don't believe it. I don't see it happening. And you know what? You just bring up another interesting point. Money and like I said, we're gonna wrap it up right after this. But Money and Kirk.
Let me make a point, Dante.
Okay, but hold on real quick, because before I forget my point real quick, because he's talking about, since he's talking about Golovkin possibly fighting against Danny Jacobs. Remember, let's just say they do cancel this fight. Golovkin's still going to fight. You guys remember what Golovkin did when he was negotiating with Chris Eubank, right? Kell Brooks stepped in. He said, I'll take the fight. And to this day, Abel Sanchez always tells me, we only took that fight because he jumped right in and he said, hey, I'll fight him. Since Chris Eubank is not, I'll fight Golovkin. So what if Danny Jacobs does the same thing? What if, hypothetically, the fight does get canceled and Danny Jacobs jumps in last minute, I'll take the fight? Will Golovkin take the fight? Me personally, I don't believe so. But Reggie, go ahead. You got something to say on that or anything?
Yeah. No, I was saying I think that this fight may be canceled with everything's going on. Like the other caller saying, there's something that's probably stated that can't be released to the public, but there's reasoning behind HBO pulling away advertising for this fight. The commission is going to have to set precedents, and they're going to end up suspending Canelo. Precedents have to be set in events like that, and Canelo would be the perfect person to set precedents, being as big of a star he is, and to have something like this happen. It only makes sense to set the rules in boxing right.
This would be huge. This would be huge,
right,
guys.
But
if this fight gets canceled, go ahead, Alonzo.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is that there's Cinco de Mayo weekend is the biggest weekend in boxing the whole year long, and it's a tradition for the last 20 years since Julio Cesar Chavez. Goes back to Oscar De La Hoya, that went back to my man Floyd Mayweather, that we never had any problems with him. It was always 4 or 5 months, 6 months ahead of time, and we knew that the fight was going to happen. But that's my personal favorite fighter. And then from Floyd Mayweather, now we're going into the Mexican Independence Weekend and Cinco de Mayo are the two biggest weekends in boxing. So there's too much money. Casinos, Golden Boy has already injected a lot of money in that fight. We're talking about millions of dollars, sponsorship, people that have already taken their flights, people have taken their hotel rooms, the casino people. We're talking about multi millions of dollars that could be lost, generated in Las Vegas. And I don't believe that they would scrap the whole thing. And I think 1 month, I think they might even be able to announce something
Alonzo,
this week.
Alonzo, what did you think about Dan Rafael's point when he said, for people who think that NSAC is just doing this just to respond to Golovkin, this fight very well may be canceled, and look at what happened with Tyson against Lewis. Was that fight already scheduled in Vegas, and then at the last minute, was it similar to this situation where a month or what was it?
I don't recall. I recall this fight being moved. I don't recall if it was completely canceled, but I think it was moved. But I also recall when Orlando Salido fought Francisco Vargas, and there was a similar situation with the meat contaminated. That was a few years ago.
Yeah.
And yes, the commission, after doing the investigation, they did allow the fight to happen. I just don't understand why they had to wait all the way to April 10th and not do the meeting with Canelo earlier, because April 10th, we're talking about a little bit over 2 weeks now from now. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand why would that happen. And at the end of the day, regardless, the Cinco de Mayo weekend is too big. I believe that if Canelo goes further and they want to move the fight later on in September, why is Triple G still training right now?
Oh, well, he's going
high altitudes.
But like you said though, Alonzo, he's going to fight regardless. He's going to fight regardless if it's Canelo or not.
Right.
So if of course he's going to keep training.
So now right now we got 2 or 3 scenarios. If he fights regardless, Dante, if he fights regardless, that means option A, he fights Canelo, the Nevada State Commission clears him. Option B, who else is there who can make it an interesting fight for the fans?
Only Danny Jacobs or
Daniel Jacobs
or Jermall Charlo. And Jermall, I'm sure Jermall would pay Centino some step aside money. He'll jump in there. No, that would be after. That'll be after. My bad. He'll be free. He'll be free by then. Yeah.
Right, but the Jermall fight, because it's Cinco de Mayo weekend, and because everybody's seen the fight with Daniel Jacobs, because they do have a history. When you're talking about rematch, it does sell a lot more than somebody who's an exciting fighter. Don't get me wrong, Jermall Charlo is an incredible fighter, but I don't think he has the history that he did with the first fight with Triple G. I mean, with Triple G being the fight so close. So now they could do a rematch, which is a little bit synonymous with rematch with Canelo. So it's rematch versus rematch. And besides that, you have Billy Joe Saunders, who's injured, and even if he wasn't that injured, it's a little bit hard for him to come back and say, you know what, the Martin Murray fight, you know what, I was injured in the Martin Murray fight, but I'm suddenly a little bit better and I'll do the fight with Canelo. So I think the only option for Triple G is against a guy like
Danny Jacobs.
Besides Canelo, let me get this straight. Besides Canelo, would be Danny Jacobs, because he's already in training right now. He's already in top shape. He's He's already training for that fight on April 28th. Yeah. So I don't think 1 week more is going to make a difference for him.
That's an excellent point.
Now, if we offer him millions and millions of dollars, why would Danny Jacobs take a fight with Jermall Charlo and with a lot less money and take the risk when he can make maybe $5 million, $4 or $5 million, especially with the situation that they're right now. They're looking for somebody to come in if the commission does, does put Canelo aside for this time being. Does it make sense?
No, not at all, not at all. But hey, man, we got to go ahead and get ready to wrap it up, Alonzo. Once again, like I said, you guys are listening to Alonzo. I'll put the graphic up again. He's promoting the Box Fan Expo.
I didn't see the graphic.
You didn't see the graphic. You got to go back and watch it, man. You got to go back and watch the show. But anyway, it's up right now.
There you go.
It's up right now. So it's been up.
BoxFanExpo.com. By the way, fans, the tickets are presently right now. Early bird tickets are only $30 online. They're going to be more expensive at the door. BoxFanExpo.com. Get your tickets. Get an amazing 30, 40, 50 fighters. You're going to meet them face to face. There's music, DJ, ring card girls, activities in all the different booths. We got already confirmation from many, many big companies that are going to bring a bunch of fighters. And every week we're going to be announcing some more fighters coming every week. So we'll come back next Sunday. And thank you for having me, Dante. You're always a great host, and I think your show is amazing.
Thank you, Alonzo. I appreciate it, man. And I'll see you at the Box Fan Expo and all the fans. All right, Alonzo? Take care, man. Okay, man. All right, guys. We are going to go ahead and wrap this one up. We've been doing this for 3 hours damn near. So let me go ahead and get up out of here. But before I go, y'all already know what it is, man. Hashtag Dante's Boxing Nation. Hashtag New Media. Hashtag Decaf Busters. Hashtag Dante's Cooking Nation. Man, we'll see y'all next week. Same time, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. Y'all already know what it is, man. Oh, once again, man, thanks for my panel as always. Money Pal III, my man Kirk Jackson, special surprise guest Hasim Rahman Jr. He stopped by. My man Alonzo from Box Fan Expo. Y'all know your boy DBN. It's the nation, baby. Yep.